your program. And at Hampton University, the tradition of excellence is second to none. The three-time defending MEAC champion Hampton Pirates are on top of black college football, and it looks as if they've reloaded for a new season. Gone are 20 starters, but Coach Joe Taylor has the Pirates loaded and ready for another MEAC championship, and has already established who is the real HU. The Aggies of North Carolina A&T tradition includes the 1999 Black College National Championship, but currently it includes an 18-game losing streak that Coach Fobbs is set to break. Today, they hope that the Aggie tradition helps them beat the Pirates and break two different traditions. It's MEAC football, and it's next on ESPNU. ESPNU College Football, presented by Citi, comes to Aggie Stadium in Greensboro, North Carolina, for a MEAC matchup as the Aggies of North Carolina A&T host the Pirates of Hampton University. Hello again, everyone. Charlie Neal, and welcome to Greensboro, where the Hampton Pirates come in as the clear-cut favorites to beat the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. Now, the Hampton Pirates are the three-time defending MEAC champs, but they have 13 new starters in their lineup. Gone, Princeton Shepard, the quarterback from a year ago. He put up all kinds of numbers, but stepping into his spot is T.J. Mitchell, who threw for 310 yards and 3 touchdowns against Howard a week ago. His performance earned him the MEAC Offensive Player of the Week award. And Mitchell looking to improve on last week's performance against the Aggies, who own the longest losing streak in the championship subdivision at 18. And for more on the Aggies and their quest to get into the win column, let's go over to my partner, Jay Walker.
Thanks, Charlie. Now, we know statistically this is a mismatch on paper, but if A&T wants to have any chance of pulling off the upset today, freshman quarterback Shelton Morgan, he's going to have to play the game of his life. And I got good news for the freshman quarterback. If he can figure out a way to get the home crowd involved and all these crazy Aggie maniacs here in Greensboro, North Carolina, he's got a chance. Can I get an Aggie pride? Aggie pride! This is definitely one of the best college football environments in all of black college football. Will it be enough to will the Aggies to an upset victory over Hampton today? I don't know, but it makes for an interesting matchup.
Well, the Aggie pride is alive. And, of course, they are coming out of the locker room. And they touch the Bulldog as you look at Joe Taylor on the far side of the field. The head coach of the Pirates of Hampton University, third winningest active coach in college football in the 16th season. 131 wins and three-time MEAC Coach of the Year, including last year. And his counterpart on the far side in his second year in Greensboro, Lee Fobbs, drafted by the Bills as a running back back in '73. And played his collegiate ball at Grambling under the legendary coach Eddie Robinson. And he's still looking for his first win of the season. And some of the crowd that we talked about earlier, Jay, in the stands. They talk about Aggie pride. They say it's a feeling you can only understand through experience. And of course, the Hampton University marching band, they're here. So it should be a pretty good battle of bands in the stands. Hampton University will get the ball to start the game. Hampton University came into the contest with a win, or coming off of a win a week ago, 31-24 over Howard University. And let's as far as the deep people for Hampton University to return the kick for the Pirates, Kevin Teal being one of the men that's deep. Also back there is James Butts. Hampton wearing the visiting white jerseys and the dark jerseys, the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. Kicking off, Carlo Turavani for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. And this one about to get underway. 39th time that these two teams have met. And we're at Aggie Stadium. This one will come down to Teal at about the 16-yard line. Teal up the gut, tripped up right at about the 37-yard line. And the man who tripped him up was Nick Johnson. He saved a possible touchdown.
He definitely did save a touchdown there, because Teal is the fastest guy on this Hampton Pirate team, and he had open daylight. Had he not been tackled there on the 38-yard line, he was heading to the end zone.
No question about it, and it's first down and 10. As you look at T.J. Mitchell out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, went to Lansdowne High down there, and they'll get the ball at their own 38-yard line. Not bad field position for the Pirates of Hampton University. First down and 10. T.J. Mitchell working. He has Teal taking the ball on the snap, and he tries to turn the corner, and the Aggie defense says no way to go, as Brandon Long, the linebacker, number 16, was there to make the stop. Let's check out the starting lineups, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Here's Hampton University: Kevin Beverly, Quattrell Payton, Ernie Lomax, Kyle Lloyd, and Jeremy Gilchrist are the backs and receivers. The line: Michael Ola, Dennis Conley, Justin Gary, Ryan Cave, and Nicholas Royal. Second down after the loss, and 15 for the Pirates of Hampton. So they tried a little trickery on first down with Teal taking the snap. This time it is Beverly trying to go right, and Beverly is brought down on the near sideline. Not much going for him, as Shaheed was there to make the stop defensively. And let's check out the defense of the Aggies, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. The linebackers: Joe Taylor, Adam Beal, and Keith Holliday. The linebackers: Shropshire, Russell, and Long. And the defensive secondary, they play 5 DBs in Shaheed, Colbert, Ruffin, Pace, and Crawley.
Is there for number 16.
Now we have a player that's shaken up for the Aggies, and that's Brandon Long, who made the first tackle. He junior out of Como, North Carolina, went to Hertford County High down there, and he limps off. He's one of those young men. They move from the defensive secondary. 3rd and 11 now, facing the Pirates. First possession. T.J. Mitchell throws behind the intended receiver, Gilchrist. Jeremy Gilchrist, the intended receiver. So 3 and out on the first drive for the Pirates.
Very impressive defense by North Carolina A&T. One of the things they did, they thought they were going to just use a 3-man rush and sit back and play zone. They've changed the game plan. 5 men on the line of scrimmage, bringing the blitz, one-on-one coverage, and T.J. Mitchell couldn't connect for the first down conversion.
Punting situation for the Pirates. That'll bring on Jamal Blanchard, sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Cosby, the punt return man, will not get a chance to return this one, and it takes a Hampton roll and dives at the 9-yard line. So the Aggies will get the ball for the first time today at their own 9-yard line. First down and 10, and they're going to be led by Shelton Morgan. He was not the starter. This is his first collegiate start. Shelton Morgan, a redshirt freshman out of Northeastern High in Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Wow, that's a tough one. That reminds me last week of when you had Jimmy Clausen start for Notre Dame, true freshman. Your first game, you're playing one of the best teams in the country, ranked nationally, but you have to seize the moment. Everybody's watching. Go out there and be a star and relax and play your game.
Well, they get a good little run on the first play from scrimmage from Michael Ferguson. Let's check out the backs and receivers for the Aggies. Michael Ferguson, who just carried the ball, Ortiz Green, Brett Fisher, Giorgio Lawrence, and Curtis Walls. Up front, Chad Wiley, Nate Anderson, Timothy Bess, Andrew Sagot, and Juan Williams. Second down. Again, the carry to the right side with Ferguson getting the call. Let's look at the Sporting Goods presented by Dick's defensive line. Marcus Dixon, Brennan Bryant, Donnell Sands, and Kendall Langford. He's a good one. The linebackers: Frazier, Wakeem Good, Demarius Sapp, and Charles Robinson. And in the secondary, Franklin Frazier, I should say Henty Baird, Tobin Lyon, and Jackie Bates. Bates, young man who transferred from Oregon.
But they said the new generation of speed burners they have. One thing about Hampton, they grow speed, and Jackie Bates is in that same line. Very fast back there. Went to De La Salle High School in California, one of the national powers, and they've got a good football player in Jackie Bates.
2nd down and 10. And quarterback. They say, this is your first start. Well, we're going to make you understand what's going on here, young man. Is that Brandon Colbert came in there and made the stop defensively, and it's a sack.
Yeah, they brought pressure from the outside. One thing you can't do if you're rolling out to your left, you've got an uncovered guy, and that's the safety. So that's the quarterback's responsibility. As a quarterback, you're responsible for knowing where the safeties are at all time. And Hinckley Bear came there unblocked, and that was a headache for Shelton Morgan.
And he's a young man, was from Greensboro, North Carolina, so he's playing in front of the home crowd, even though he's playing for the opposition. As they keep the ball on the ground, and maybe a fumble as Ferguson tried to go off the right side. And let's see if Hampton came up with it. No call yet from the referee. Our officials today are headed by Sam Jones, and Aggies hold on to the ball. And that'll bring up a 4th down situation.
And it's things like that that are indicative of how you have an 0-18 losing streak. Because, you know, it's third, you're basically giving up on this series of downs, but yet Ferguson turned the ball over. Had Hampton recovered, then all of a sudden you're looking at a 7-0 deficit. So bad teams have unfortunate breaks like that, and they have to focus on the fundamentals. Protect the football at all times, first and foremost.
And the punt. Fair catch called for and made by Jeremy Gilchrist, the junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
By Jeremy Gilchrist.
11-16, the time remaining here, and we are in the first quarter. There's no score from Aggie Stadium in Greensboro. ESPNU College Football presented by Citi. Let's get it done. Along with Jay Walker, Charlie Neal here at Aggie Stadium for this MEAC matchup. The Aggies against the Pirates of Hampton University. Second possession of the afternoon for the Pirates. This one will start at their own 42-yard line. They went 3 and out on their first possession. We talked about the win last week over Howard University, in which T.J. Mitchell threw 3 touchdown passes.
1st and 10 for Hampton.
Both teams managed 405 yards, and it was a shootout, 31-24. So it was just a matter of who wanted it most. Gilchrist is the man in motion. Here's the fake, and T.J. Mitchell decides to keep it.
Quarterback
maybe a yard, and that is it.
On the play.
Doesn't get much more as
2nd down.
Holiday, along with Hedgepeth, was there to make the stop defensively, number 53.
Jameson Hedgepeth, Friendly High School. One of the powerhouse programs now ranked in the top 25 in the nation. When you talk about Hampton putting up so many points, they put that on a team of Howard University, which traditionally has one of the better defenses in the MEAC Conference. So everybody's excited about the potential firepower at the Hampton Pirate offense.
From the shotgun this time, Mitchell works, throws, has it complete for a 1st down. And to cross midfield.
To Sam Pope.
And Pope is the man on the reception that time for.
Yeah, what you see here is T.J. Mitchell sitting strong in the pocket, and you'll see him deliver a strike to Kyle Lloyd, the wide receiver on the curl pattern. And Lloyd's got good size, 6'2", and Mitchell gets hit. But look at that, good job of seeing that ball in there for the 1st down.
From the I formation this time, it is 1st down and 10. Nothing doing that time, as Hedgepeth was there to make the stop. Or was that Van Morgan? Van Morgan on the carry. And good defense that time by Jamison Hedgepeth.
Yeah, look at all the penetration that you'll see behind the line of scrimmage there by the Aggies, showing some physicalness, getting physical here with the Pirates today. And I think that's one of the things they've come out, they've said, hey, we're not going to allow Hampton just to run the ball down our throat. I mean, we know that Hampton's got offensive line, the great runners like Alonzo Coleman. They're coming out with the defensive front and being very physical in the early parts of this game.
Working from the shotgun, Teal comes in motion to the near side. Here's a pass, complete down to the 40-yard line. Coming out is the tight end Lomax on the reception. Lomax, a senior out of O'Connell High in Washington, D.C. First reception for him this season. Did not play much last year. Back in 05, caught 11 passes for 137 yards.
You know, Lomax is one of those guys, been a 3-year starter down there at Hampton. He's got good size, added 15 pounds of muscle. So He used to be a little skinny basketball player looking tight end. Now he's getting physical up to about 240.
Pass out of the backfield again to Kevin Teal. And Teal is not going to get away. And the Aggies were there defensively. Teal not only lost yards, he lost his helmet.
Yeah, there was a whole dog pack coming to get him, and you see just a poor decision by T.J. Mitchell to go there with the football, then to expose Teal to the big hit there. And Teal's not going down easy, but look at the team defense. See, that's how you play team defense. The first guy doesn't bring the runner down, and make sure you have 2 or 3 backups there that can make the tackle. And so far, the Aggie Pride defense is off to a good start, showing what Aggie Pride is all about.
Lee Woodson, who got off a 54-yarder his first punt. Correction, that is the punter for Hampton University, Jamal Blanchard, who got off a 54-yarder. This one will come, the ball will be brought out to the 20-yard line, and you're talking about the Hampton University Pirates down in Hampton, Virginia, founded in 1868, over 6,000 students. Lonzo Hardy, their first-year athletic director, and motto, "My home by the sea." Of course, Dr. Bill Harvey is their president.
And I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying they have probably the most beautiful black college campus in America, probably one of the most scenic college campuses anywhere in the nation.
First down and 10 for the Aggies. Second possession for them. Trying to go to the right side this time, keeping it on the ground. And we talked about the Aggies, North Carolina A&T, and their campus here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Here's a school that's rich in tradition. Founded in 1891, 11,000 students. Dolores Todd, D. Todd, is the athletic director. Mano Imano. That's their.
Was that the Latin version of that?
That's the Latin version. Yeah. Dr. Stanley Battle is the president here in Greensboro. Bouncing it to the outside and trying to turn up field, running north and south is Ferguson.
Mike Ferguson on the carry.
And you can tell now he took that coach on the sideline. He was holding that football with 2 hands in open space where it probably slowed down his speed. But, you know, that's a good thing. He's a good-looking back. When you talk about the season they had last year, anytime you don't win any football games, it's very disappointing. But Michael Ferguson was the bright spot. I mean, he was one of the leading rushers in the MEAC Conference. And, you know, you have to start out one piece at a time. He's just a junior. He's got another year. So he's something they can build around for next season.
Third down facing the Aggies, and Ferguson will not get there. He had to get to the 30. He stopped at the 29-yard line on the carry.
You know, that's you know, the tough part for North Carolina A&T is when you get third and short, you're going at the strength of this Hampton Pirate defense. And the strength is Kendall Langford, Vernon Bryant, and Marcus Dixon. Those front 3 really get after the football. I mean, they're physical, and you're talking about NFL prospects all up and down the defensive front. So third and short yardage situations are going to be tough for the Aggies to pick up here today.
They were 3 of 12 in third down conversions against Prairie View last week when they played that game out in California. Fourth down, punting situation. Gilchrist will let it die, and it goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. So the Pirates will get the ball for the third time this afternoon when we come back. 6:15 left first quarter, and no score. No score here in Greensboro. 6:15 left first quarter. Don't forget to join host Lo Galindo and analyst Mike Gottfried along with Tom Luganville for Inside the Polls, where you can get the most in-depth look at the college football polls, plus a weekly Heisman Watch. All that and more on ESPNU Inside the Polls, presented by Sun 76, and it comes your way Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. And it's first down and 10, along with Jay Walker, Charlie Neal here in Greensboro, North Carolina. These Pirates were picked, as you look at T.J. Mitchell, 3 of 4 of 8 for 18 yards in the passing department, to finish second, despite being a 3-time defending champ. And as they keep the ball on the ground with Van Morgan, and Van Morgan gets a first down across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
It's good to see Van Morgan running like that again. This is a guy as a freshman, came out and had so much potential, had to wait behind Alonzo Coleman. And then when last year was supposed to be his time to shine, had a knee injury, and he's a strong bruising runner. You know, when he and Coleman were in the backyard, you had the thunder and the lightning. And Van Morgan's a big physical guy, 225 pounds. He likes to mix it up, and it's good to see he's running healthy again off of last year's injury.
A senior, Van Morgan out of New Smyrna, Florida. And he gets the ball once again, runs into a couple of blue jerseys, and he's brought down right shy of the midfield stripe. And we talked about the fact that the Aggies of North Carolina A&T come into this game losing 18 straight.
Wow.
You know, there's a lot of incentive.
Yeah, who'd ever thought?
Right.
You know, in terms
especially
of
the tradition of this program.
With the tradition and the history, I mean, there are people out there now that when you talk about North Carolina A&T, and I tell them, wow, they're going off a double-digit losing streak, they can't believe it. And, you know, this is a program here that was one of the foundations of the MEAC Conference.
No question.
It's just a matter of time. It happens. You're going to go through that cycle, but the Aggie faithful still are behind this football team 100%.
Trying to set up the little counter screen to Teal. Teal gets to the outside. Teal on his way down the field. Inside the 20 and down to the 10. 9-yard line goes Teal. Kevin Teal, the junior out of Bowie, Maryland, takes it all the way down to the 9. First and goal.
They talked about him being one of the fastest Hampton Pirates on the football field. Well, wow, we didn't know he was fast and shifty at the same time. As you take a look here at this wide receiver screen here, and they get the ball to him. Look at him making the first guy miss with the lower body strength, and then getting upfield in a hurry. And right when you think he's turned on the jets, don't overrun your pursuit there, Mr. Hedgepeth, but you did. And all of a sudden, that's a big play for Kevin Teal.
And this time, they keep the ball on the ground, and they go with Van Morgan, who gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. You know, you talk about Teal and his speed, what he showed on that particular run, Jay. They say he's about a 4.2 40 man. There's about 4 or 5 guys on this squad. Best is another one that can run that 4.2 40.
And I believe it, because a couple years ago, I remember talking with Coach Taylor, and he said, yeah, we got a young man here that runs a 4.2 4.1. And I said, come on, Coach, you got to be kidding me. Nobody runs that. They say it every week. That young man was Jerome Mathis
with Houston now,
ran
right?
a 4.2 at the NFL Combine. So anytime he tells me a 40-yard dash time, I'm a believer because they have plenty of speed down in Hampton.
Second and goal, and it's caught and fumbled, recovered at about the 7. Caught, fumbled by Kyle Lloyd, and recovered at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, you take a look here. This is just a little screen. They're trying to get the ball in there with Derek McPherson, who's a junior transfer over there from Washington, D.C. And Johnny on the spot, you saw Kyle Lloyd going over there to get the ball. And it's just unfortunate when you're 0-18, you don't get those breaks. It just always seems to happen that things just don't go right. But it's time for the Aggies to see if they can make a goal line stand here. They're bringing pressure from the outside.
From the shotgun on 3rd down and goal. In the middle, touchdown. Great Pirates throw. And it was Justin Brown on the reception, the transfer from Lackawanna Junior College. His first touchdown as a Pirate.
Well, great job by T.J. Mitchell recognizing the blitz coming from the outside. He throws a skinny 8 pattern in there up high where only his receiver Justin Brown can get it. Great recognition. Knowing he had pressure coming, meant you had man-to-man coverage in the secondary. T.J. Mitchell with a big-time throw.
Now for the point after. Giovanni, a freshman out of Ontario, Canada. He splits the uprights, and it's 7-0. The Pirates of Hampton University on top with 3:50 to go in the first quarter. And look at this, they drive down the field. That drive started at their own 34-yard line, 64 yards, 66 yards, and they culminated with a touchdown pass to Justin Brown.
Let's get
7-0 our score as you look at Justin Brown, the young man from Surfside Beach, South Carolina. 2 receptions a week ago against Howard. A big one that time that put 7 points on the board as they complete a 6-play, 66-yard drive. Hampton's David Robinson on the return. David Robinson back to about the 24.
Let's take a look at this touchdown. Look at the motion, guy. This is how you help out your quarterback. You send somebody in motion. Once you see somebody going back and forth with them, that's the free safety. You know it's man-to-man coverage. At that point, you just protect yourself, find the best matchup, and that's how you score touchdowns. Little tricks of the game. Motion lets you know if they're playing zone coverage or man coverage. T.J. Mitchell with a great job of recognition.
Well, Shelton Morgan, as you look at the scoring drive, 2 minutes and 25 seconds off the clock. Mitchell, he completes a pass. And we're going to get a late flag, and this is going to be whistled against, I believe, Andrew Sagote, the right guard. I think he came in with a little late hit after the play was over.
You know, and that's one of those ones you want your offensive line. They have to be passive aggressive. They've got to be passive aggressive. They can't have the aggression of a typical defensive lineman in the trenches because they got to wait for the snap count.
Against the Aggies.
Half the distance.
And the bad thing about that is, you know, you got a freshman quarterback that's in there. He finally completed a pass with some comfort level. You know, he looked good in the pocket on that big completion there, but now it goes back because, you know, it's all for naught. So you ruin the kid's confidence, and now he's looking at first down and, as I like to say, first and ever.
Yeah, especially they go half the distance to the goal line on the penalty. They're going to have to get all the way out to the 34-yard line for a first down. The ball is spotted right outside the 10 at about the 12. Fumble and picked up by the quarterback, and he's dropped down at the 2-yard line. You cannot make mistakes against this Hampton Pirate team. Shelton Morgan had trouble handling the ball. He's the 9th different quarterback to start for the Aggies since 2002.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing you can't have. I mean, good teams don't have quarterback shuffle. They always have a solid guy in there in trench. And you see Shelton Morgan just took his eye off of the football, probably looking at that rush coming up the middle. But there's a reason why, you know, mistakes just compound on each other. And you hit a good point. You say you can't make mistakes against good football teams. And you really can't make mistakes against great football teams.
And a little breathing room coming out of the pack with it is Ferguson. Ferguson gets up to about the 13-yard line, but it'll bring on a punting situation for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T, and that'll bring on Lee Woodson to do it once again.
You know, so now you turn the football over, you had a completion, you get a penalty, and now you're going to start losing the battle of field positions.
And that's what's happening right now when you look at the fact that Gilchrist, the return man, is standing on the Aggie side of the 50-yard line at the 45 to return this kick.
So unless he goes backwards, they're going to have great field position on this.
And he's going to field it to 42. Gets to the outside. There he goes, Gilchrist. And Gilchrist brought down at the 20, make that the 16-yard line. ESPNU delivers more action from the gridiron on Thursday night. The Bears of Morgan State face the Pirates of Hampton. That game will be down in Hampton, Virginia. It's Thursday primetime college football, and it's presented by Buffalo Wild Wings on ESPNU. Comes your way at 7:30 p.m. Eastern live. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. Along with Jay Walker, Charlie Neal, 26-yard return that time from Mr. Gilchrist, in great field position for the Pirates of Hampton University, knocking on the door, leading already 7-0. Coming to the near side, keeping it on the ground, trying to turn the corner, and doing so is Dennis Mathis, wearing the Alonzo Coleman's old number.
Yeah, he looked a little bit like Alonzo Coleman there, showing some shiftiness with the moves. No disrespect meant to Mr. Coleman, who is the all-time leading rusher at Hampton, but good job of getting to the outside. Look at the way that Dennis stretches this out. Looks for hole number 1, not there. Hole number 2, not there. All right, let me turn on the jets, get outside, just try to make something out of nothing. Good piece of running by Dennis Mathis. Freshman, where do they get these guys from?
Yeah, out of Hampton, Virginia, went to Phoebus High.
Phoebus High.
Carried the ball a couple times last week. Second down from the I formation. Well, they tattooed him that time. Boy, coming up with the big hit for the Aggies was Colbert. Brandon Colbert, number 23 there. You know, Brandon Colbert out of Rayford, North Carolina, junior from Hope County High. Listen to the hit. That hurt me up here.
Wow. That hurts. Anybody that likes watching football knows that's just a hit that you just can't imitate. That's helmet on shoulder pad.
You ever get hit that hard?
Never. Never. And I don't think there are too many people in life that have been hit that hard. You take a look at that hit. He got his bell rung. That's actually Dennis Mathis now stumbling off the field. He's really.
We talked about, you know, concussions and how you lose your vision there for a moment, you know, and he was really hit there by Brandon Colbert.
Yeah, and that's one there where you're asking yourself, how do you get hit so hard on a run play? And you have to question yourself as offensive coordinator on a running play. How do you leave a guy unprotected on the line of scrimmage and let your running back get hit like that?
And you talk about the Aggies last year and things that they need to improve on this year. They only averaged 10.4 points per contest. They gave up 43 points a game last year.
Those two right there.
Yeah.
They scored 10. They give up 43.
Yeah,
if they can just get that margin down to within 15 points instead of the 33-point difference that it is, that to me, that's the key. I mean, you have to have the ability to score, and you have to have the ability to keep people out of the end zone, and they did neither last year. And you know,
and they turned the ball over 28 times.
Yeah,
you can't do that either.
And we talked about that. They're working on that this year. You know, so far this game, they haven't turned it over, and you know, they've got 4 turnovers so far in 2 games, so they're not on pace for that record 28 or 30. So they're working on little things, but I still think it all starts with a foundation. And, you know, hold on to the football and learn how to keep people out of the end zone. Start with your defense, and then you can compete for victories.
It is a 3rd down and 5 facing the Pirates of Hampton University. They're in the red zone where they were 3 for 3 in the red zone a week ago against Howard University.
Great teams always have an ability to walk away with points in the red zone. And, you know, the good teams get points, the great teams get touchdowns. And Hampton has got one of these potentially great offenses in the 2007 version, but for many years, Hampton's been one of those teams where once they got in the red zone, it was points on the board. And more times than not, it was touchdowns.
Van Morgan in the backfield with T.J. Mitchell. And Morgan goes in motion. Empty backfield now for the Pirates on 3rd and 5. Pressure. There's a pass. Wide open! Out of the end zone. He was wide open down there, though. That was Lomax, the tight end, a senior. There's a mix-up on the coverage defensively, but unfortunately for the Pirates, he ran out of real estate. For the Aggies, that inline helped them.
Yeah, had he had more presence, he'd have caught that ball and tried to drag the feet. He tried, but he couldn't do it. But North Carolina A&T getting very aggressive in the end zone, blitzing, bringing pressure, one-on-one coverage, blown coverage this time here, and you see Lomax get. Oh, that was close.
28-yard field goal coming from Turavani, and this one is good, and it's 10-0.
That was
with
close.
A minute 13 to go. Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, when you take a look at that replay from that angle there, you know, it's just a matter of when did the officials see that he had possession of this football. So as you look at the end part of this route here, he clearly makes the catch. When does he make the catch? Nah! Yeah, he's airborne. Good call. They got it right. Good call. They got it right. But wow, you wish that Lomax would have had a little bit more presence about himself to just deaden your legs. That's what they call in the NFL. Just drop your legs, make them dead, and you could have just touched that line. Because in college, all you need is 1 foot, half a toe, 1 shoestring.
So Turavani with the field goal. You look at the yards between the two teams. Hampton with a 60-yard advantage in the contest so far. And we talked about this young man, Turavani, replacing Andy Patarini. Patarini was an all-conference kicker for them a year ago. And so far, Turavani 2 for 2 in field goals this season. He has not missed an extra point. He's 5 for 5, and he is a freshman.
And he is a Canadian.
Yeah, from Ontario, Canada.
Ontario, Canada. So he came down south of the border to practice his trade, and, you know, going into a winning program, and he's got big shoes to fill. I mean, you know, we talk about Andrew Patarini. He was one of the best kickers in black college history, and they think they've got a good one in Carlo Turavani.
This return by David Robinson. Robinson. Pinball around. And now we're going to get a little extracurricular activity between the Pirates and the Aggies down there. But the officials didn't throw any flags, although they could very well have done that. So the ball will be spotted at the 27-yard line as the Aggies take possession. As you look at Shelton Morgan. Heady player, has a pretty good deep ball. Played a couple quarters last week against Prairie View. Played some wide receiver against Winston-Salem in the season opener. And again, the hitting is very hard as Dixon came through for the Pirates of Hampton University on the defensive side of the ball.
And I think they like that down on the field. You see Marcus Dixon, the big defensive end. You know, with Hampton, it all starts at the end, and they're trying to do an option off of Marcus Dixon. He does a good job of just putting wood. They are hitting.
I'll tell you what. We got the sound person's doing a great job.
Our mic's amped up down there on the sideline.
They must have them in the uniform. Jeff Anderson, our audio guy, has done a great job of giving us the hits in the trenches, the sounds of talk about the sounds of the game. You're right.
In case you forgot that football, I'm a quarterback and like to see balls flying all over the field. It's still a very violent sport. They're hitting down there. You talk about Marcus Dixon. I mean, what a great guy. 6'5", 300-pound senior. Has played for 4 years down there at Hampton, and he's got a shot at playing on Sundays.
Well, that's going to be the end of the first quarter. We have 15 minutes of football behind us here in Greensboro, North Carolina. The Aggies find themselves trailing, though, by a score of 10-0. This is their home opener. Their first 2 games were played on the road. They played in California last week. They played in Winston-Salem in their season opener. And right now, in front of the home crowd, they're trailing 10-0. Back with the second quarter in Greensboro in a moment.
Take a share in the Summer House. Tuesdays at 9 on ESPNU. Sports Center U update. Great.
We're at Aggie Stadium on the campus of North Carolina A&T in Greensboro for this college football matchup presented by Citi right here on ESPNU along with Jay Walker. I'm Charlie Neal. The Aggies with the ball facing a 3rd and 13 and trailing 10-0. They're wearing the blue jerseys. The Hampton Pirates.
Are there any Aggie maniacs in the house?
So another 3rd down situation facing the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. They are 0 for 2 in 3rd down conversion so far today.
Well, when you have 3rd and 10+ yards, you're not giving yourself a chance. But the weakness of Hampton on paper is their secondary.
Throwing long, but it's way overthrown for the intended receiver. In talking to Coach Lee Fobbs yesterday, he says we want to play within the chains, not behind the chains. And you can't be playing behind the chains like they were doing this now, 13.
Yeah, negative yardage, penalties, fumbling the football. You have to. That just means you're not getting enough positive yardage plays. I've never heard a coach complain about positive yards. And sometimes you have to settle for 2 yards a carry rather than the 3 or 4 yards per carry they like to get. But this team is struggling just getting positive yardage. And if you continue to do that, just bad things happen. And it's something that they'll mature. And those are things they have to learn as this young ball squad starts to gel together.
High kick. Fair catch being called for and made by Gilchrist at the 32-yard line. And we talked about Alonzo Coleman and what he meant to this Hampton University program. I mean, just look what he can do.
I mean, when he did that run against Bethune-Cookman and put up the numbers he did, the fastest team in the conference, and he was outrunning them, he was special from the very first moment he stepped on campus in Hampton, Virginia. He was a playmaker, one of the best running backs in the history of 1AA football. Alonzo Coleman now playing with the Dallas Cowboys. He was special.
Some Dallas fans in the box.
Got Cowboy fans everywhere, aren't they?
In fact, the Cowboys play the Miami Dolphins tomorrow. It is 1st down and 10. Gilchrist is the man in motion. They keep the ball on a counter. Going back on the inside. And it's Morgan on the carry.
Man, Morgan on the carry.
That's another thing there where, when we talk about the difference between North Carolina A&T and Hampton, if that's A&T, that play there is a 4-yard loss. Bad play call, defense was ready. But when you have a good winning team, it becomes a 3-yard gain. And coaches can live with a 3-yard gain time and time again.
2nd down. Back to pass. T.J. Mitchell, plenty of time. Throws, and it's almost intercepted. Lomax had to play the part of the defender that time to keep it from being intercepted by Colbert.
Yeah, good job, Brandon Colbert. If you take a look at the tight end, big number 89, Ernie Lomax is sitting there softly in the zone. He's running across the field. It takes a while for TJ to decide to go there with him to the football. He actually allowed the tight end to run across the zone, which you don't want to do. And that's where Colbert was there, Johnny on the spot.
Third down. Way overthrown. Had to bring that one down a little bit. Will Chamberlain wouldn't have got that one. Huh?
He wouldn't, especially not Jeremy Gilchrist, who goes 5'9". So that's one of the things where as an offensive coordinator, there's a penalty on the play. Probably going to go against the Pirates for holding. But, you know, as an offensive coordinator, you got the look you want. You wanted to cover 3. You've got a curl flat combination call, and your quarterback just misfired.
So Hampton picks up a penalty of holding. Of course, the Pirates were going to have to punt it away because the Aggies are going to decline this one and get the ball back with Quentin Cosby, the deep man, the sophomore out of Germantown, Maryland. He's averaging 6.6 yards per punt return, ranked 3rd in the conference in punting and punt returns. Fielded by Cosby, trying to get to the middle and gets it back to the 35-yard line. There's a timeout on the field. 13:49 here in the second quarter. Hampton University out in front by a score of 10-0 over the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. $10-0 our score. Joe Taylor's team up by 10 points in this contest. Don't forget to join host Lowell Galindo and analyst Mike Gottfried along with Tom Luganbill for Inside the Polls, where you get the most in-depth look at college football and the polls, plus a weekly Heisman Watch. All that and more on ESPNU Inside the Polls, presented by 76. Comes your way Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just log on to ESPNU.com for more information.
It's never too early to talk Heisman, is it?
No, it never. And who do you like?
Preseason, you know, I like McFadden. I mean, I've always been a fan personally. Darren McFadden out of Arkansas, but John David Booty, he's got a great opportunity today with the national television game.
And coming off the right side for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T is David Robinson.
David Robinson on the carry. Takes ball across.
Going with a little bit of running back by committee. Michael Ferguson's the bigger back, and then they go with the speedy back, David Robinson, the junior from Miami. You take a look at Robinson here, just getting in the hole and just hitting that hole quickly. So that's what you want when you have a change of pace back. And look at the cuts. Seems like every football player I know from Miami knows how to cut on a dime.
And Robinson gets the call once again, but he won't get away from the defense. The white shirt of the Aggies, I should say the defense by Henty Baird, the young man from Greensboro, has made a couple good stops here tonight for the Pirates of Hampton University.
He's a strong safety, so that lets you know that they're putting the safety close to the line of scrimmage, not allowing North Carolina A&T to win the numbers game in the box when it comes to running. Baird's made a couple tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and strong safety typically is your best tackler in the secondary.
You know, we talked about the fact that this is Shelton Morgan's first collegiate start. The reason he's in there is Herbert Miller, who had been the starter, got injured his knees, lost for the season for the Aggies. And Shelton Morgan, you got to watch himself, especially with hits like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're hitting down there on the field. And, you know, welcome to MEAC football, the college football in the Division I level. And, you know, he's a little shell-shocked, but he'll start to settle down. You see him drop back in the pocket there. Never really gets comfortable. See, he's looking at the rush right away. Can't blame him because the rush was coming. But you got to just learn to get your pre-snap read. That's the problem most young quarterbacks have. They don't get enough out of their pre-snap read. They start looking at their teammates and where the other people are. Hey, read the defense, get a pre-snap read, make up your mind, and stick to it.
On third down, out of the backfield, gets it over to Walls. And Walls picks up the first down inside the 40-yard line. So now the Aggies have something going. They're down inside the 35 at about the 33-yard line. So that was a good big play for the Aggies on third down.
Yeah, that's what you want. You know, you got crossing patterns, man-to-man coverage. Take a look at number 87 coming in the screen. Mike Caldwell with the big block on the outside. That's team. See, that'll motivate you. Things like that. Mike Caldwell coming up with the big stick. Wide receivers rarely get an opportunity to hit somebody. They're always getting hit. Hats off to Mike Caldwell for the great hit.
15 yards on that pass play. Coming back to the near side, looking for some blocking. Here's our quarterback, Morgan, and he gets tattooed at about the 26-yard line by Good.
Good put it to him good and heavy, didn't he? Joaquin Good. And that's the linebacker. We talk about a freshman quarterback. One thing you have to learn when to get down. He waited too long before he decided he was going to hit that turf. And Joaquin Good tattooed him into the ground. And talk about Joaquin Good as a guy who's replacing Joe Durant. Look at Shelton Morgan on his first start, 2 of 3. The bobble snap is what really got me. I think that really put them back, and that led to points ultimately. That doesn't show up on the stat sheet because they recovered, but it killed the drive.
And that was supposedly a delayed draw, but Good was there. He read that. I think he might have been in the Aggie huddle that time.
If you're going to replace Justin Durant, you have to make plays like that. And this is Justin Durant's replacement. He keeping up the tradition of playing middle linebacker. And this is how you play middle linebacker. Coming right up your screen. I mean, you don't let the middle linebacker go unblocked. And when you do, you're going to pay for it.
He's a leading tackler on this Pirate team coming into today's ball game out of Cleveland, Ohio, went to Benedictine High. Talking about Joaquin Good. And it's a 3rd down facing the Aggies now. Time thrown over the middle. This one's almost intercepted. It went behind the intended receiver. And it'll bring up a 4th down situation. Now, what do you do here? You've got the ball down at the 30-yard line. It's a 4th down facing you. If you kick a field goal, you're talking 47 yards.
I would say go for it. I don't know. When I talked with Coach about the distance that his kicker had, Coach Fobbs thought he was good anywhere around 45 yards. So, you start getting here, you're a little bit out the comfort level. You're trying to win the battlefield position. He's really sticking with the conservative plan by going with the punt here, because if he kicks it into the end zone, it's a net 10 yards.
And now
rethinking. I think they're going to rethink and possibly go for it here. I mean, the ball's on the 30-yard line. Your defense has done a good job of holding them, and even if you don't get it, Hampton still has to drive, but we consider the length of the field to beat you.
Well, we're talking about the 3 straight championships that Hampton has won since 1999. Of course, the Aggies were in there twice. They won it in '99. They won it again in 2003 with George Small as their head coach. Of course, it was a 2-way tie between Hampton and South Carolina State in '04, and then Hampton had it outright the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, Hampton's had a good run since they joined the conference in 1997, and A&T prior to Hampton joining the conference, A&T was always, and he's, the dean there, and he's done a great job. And talking about Lee Fobbs, he's still energetic. He's still energetic. His attitude was positive, and he's very excited about the direction this program is going to go.
They're going to punt it away, unless they have a trick play where they're going to give it to one of the up men and let him try to run for it.
I don't know why you call a timeout to punt.
You can't draw them off sides. You're still not going to get a 1st down. Aiming for the corner. And this one still will find its way into the end zone. When it rains, it pours, right? 10:34 to go 2nd quarter. Don't forget to log on to your online source for all things college sports, ESPNU.com. It's an online service that will be a gateway to all college sports content from ESPN, combining the latest news with an expanded collection of exclusive material, scores, columns, video and audio highlights, podcasts, live streaming, games, and much more. Just log on to ESPNU.com today, because we are college sports. So out to the 20-yard line is where Hampton University will get the ball after the touchback and the ball going into the end zone.
After the 10-yard net punt. I don't get that one there, Charlie.
Hampton actually joined the conference in '95. It was Norfolk State who came in '97. As they keep the ball and they run it up the field, and they get a 1st down out to the 35-yard line. A 15-yard gain on the run by Van Morgan.
You see Hampton get back to doing one of the things they do so well. For all the explosive players they had with the wide receivers, they never got the credit for having a great running scheme. You see the big pulling guard there. That's a great job there. Seeing the big left tackle, right guard, Ryan Cave, pulling around and moving 360 pounds. Schematically, they've got a great scheme for running, and they've gone through 3 offensive coordinators, but one thing has remained the same. Coach Taylor, Coach Team know how to run the football.
Van Morgan a little shaken up, I believe. He fell down as he was trying to line up in the backfield for that play. And now TJ is ushering him off the field to the training staff. I think he got his bell rung a little bit on that last play. Look, there he is. He's
losing that equilibrium. Where do I go? And whoa, delayed knockout blow, huh?
No question. And he didn't want to go. No, I know what I'm doing. He's replaced by Mathis in the backfield. Mathis has the ball. Mathis cuts to his right, but nothing doing is
Mathis on the
that defense of the Aggies.
40 near the 41-yard line.
Death, as they like to call it.
You know, you talk about blue death. You know, I always say great running backs run the color. And, you know, it could be a boring play, but you see what Dennis Mathis did on that last play is he was running, and he got in the hole, and he wanted to cut, but he saw that blue. Take a look. He wants to cut. He saw that blue coming from the left side, so he said, well, let me cut back in the right, even though there was no place to go. But that tells me he's got the vision it takes to be a great running back. He's just a freshman. Running backs out there, you always run to color.
Came to him that time, didn't it?
They brought it all right there, and that's what that defense is all about. You know, they're doing some good hard hitting there, and fundamentally seems as if they've been able to match the intensity level in the trenches by the Hampton offensive line.
You know, you even looked at the fact that they lost the game a week ago to Prairie View. They actually had more yards that they gained in that game, but they just lost it on the scoreboard. They lost 22-7. They had a couple punts blocked and returned for touchdowns, and you know you can't win making those type of mistakes.
And you know you have to outgrow those type of mistakes, and that's what they need to do maturity-wise. Since they're such a young bunch playing together, they're still learning to stop hurting themselves.
Sam Jones says we have a false start.
Legal procedure penalty called against the Pirates. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
And that's what Joe Taylor doesn't like. Here's a team that was picked, believe it or not, to finish second in the preseason poll, South Carolina State.
Yeah.
But South Carolina State has one of the toughest schedules in the football championship subdivision. They played Air Force Academy to open the season. They're playing South Carolina today in Columbia.
Yeah, tough schedule there for Buddy Pugh, and you know they think that hey they get it out the way early. Oh no, look at that. That's
a fumble. That was a third down play. Let's see who has it. Do the Aggies come up with it? Or is it fourth down?
No, they've got it.
That's the first turnover. Looks like Kelvin Jackson came up with it. And it is the Aggie ball. First turnover of the ball game, and it favors the Aggies with 8:12 to go.
Yeah, you know, and this was truly a gift. I mean, great job on defense by North Carolina A&T to get to the quarterback, T.J. Mitchell. And I don't know what's going through the quarterback's head at this point. He's going down and just not protecting that ball, keeping it out there loose. And you see, as you said, it was Johnny on the spot, Kelvin Jackson, the nose tackle. You know, he almost flicked that ball underhand like he was going to throw it to his offensive lineman, not knowing where he was. He got disoriented down there on the football field. That's something you cannot do as a quarterback.
The best field position for the Aggies today. The last drive, they got down to the 30. Let's see if they can capitalize here. They get the ball 1st and 10 at the 24. The pass, a fade in the corner, and it's incomplete. The idea was there. It just didn't have enough air under.
It was, and that became the track meet there with the wide receivers going run for stride. Giorgio Lawrence and Sam Pope. In that case there, they both just had an all-out dash to the goal line, and had that ball been thrown over the outside shoulder, would have had a chance.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. This time they keep it on the ground. Ferguson on the carry. Jamari Jones there defensively for the Pirates of Hampton.
You know, now I wonder when you get the turnover, you know, everybody knows you always go for the big play as soon as you get the turnover. Why not do it 3 times in a row? I mean, you know, you call 2 fade routes. They're still giving you single coverage on the outside. I would call that play 3 times in a row, and you got to like your percentages, and maybe you can hit it once in the 3 tries.
3rd down and 8. Going to the corner again. Just a little bit too big for small Walls. Curtis Walls, and Lyon was defending down there for the Pirates. Tobin Lyon, the free safety, the junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And Tobin Lyon got away with the pass interference there. It looks like he grabbed the arm of Curtis Walls while he was running that route there, and the Aggie faithful here are disappointed they didn't get that flag call.
This will be a 38-yard field goal attempt for Eric Houston. He's 0 for 2 in field goals so far this season, and he's 0 for 3.
I don't even know if he would have made an extra point on that one. The trajectory was so low on that kick there. I mean, that's a disappointing thing there. And you see Coach Favre, that's his job there, coaching the kid. Look at the trajectory on this. Let's see if the snap is down. Ball's down. Yeah, he just didn't get it up at all.
I mean, he did everything else right. He kept his head down. He's a freshman from Atlanta. He's perfect in point after touchdowns. He missed a 26 and a 27-yarder last week against Prairie View. He had one of them blocked. In fact, this Aggie team has not converted a field goal in their last 15 games. The last time they converted a field goal was October 29th, 2005 against Bethune-Cookman, when Joseph Arroyo kicked one. But here comes the Hampton Pirates back down the field. Van Morgan, and he's brought down.
Morgan on the carry.
At the 32 of
ball across midfield now to the A&T 30-yard line.
The A&T Aggies.
That's what a good team does. They're going to capitalize on a mistake. Take a look at the right side of the line here. Slide protection, zone blocking. Van Morgan found a crease and turned on the jets, letting everybody know that he's back from that injury from a year ago and making Aggie defenders slide off of him one at a time.
First down and 10 at the 30 for the Aggies, or I should say for the Pirates of Hampton University, who keep the ball on the ground, and this time it is Dennis
Morgan
Mathis.
on the carry.
Or is that Morgan again, number 27?
Ball down near the
They got the power game going right there. You've got Van Morgan in the backfield, and they've got their fullback, Cutrell Payton, in there just lead blocking.
Yeah, 255 pounds, the senior out of Norview High up in Norfolk.
And he's having fun. He's just out there right now hitting people, number 33 Payton. And anytime Morgan gets that ball, he's one of those guys when he's in the backfield and they're going to run the ball, just follow the fullback. If you can follow the fullback, you're going to see some collisions taking place.
Mathis is in the backfield. He gets the pitch, going to the right side, behind the block, cuts it back inside, gets the first down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Dennis Mathis on the carry.
Yeah, that's what you want there. So you got the big 250-pound fullback leading out front.
19-yard line.
And then you come up with the scat back, Dennis Mathis, the 5'9", 180-pound freshman. And what do you have there? Successful running play, conversion for the first down for the Pirates.
And these are the types of things that we've seen teams over and over that are having problems winning. They get good field position, but just can't punch it in any way, shape, or form.
And I think it's the emotion. You give the offense the ball on the 30, they come away with no points, and defensively that just mentally drains you, and you start to give up.
TJ to Kevin Teal. Teal at the 15, spinning, stood up, and brought down at the 14-yard line.
Pass is complete to Kevin Teal.
I think that was Michael Pace who stood him
ball
up.
inside the 15.
Number 26.
Down to the 13.
Kevin Teal, he's really exciting to watch. I mean, when he caught the ball in that much open space, you just knew that the first guy wasn't going to bring him down. And he ran by the first Aggie defender like he wasn't even there. And he decided he was going to take on the whole team. Look at all this in space. First guy didn't bring him down, and he's willing to take on the whole team. A good gang tackling by Jamison Hedgepeth there on the play.
Straight ahead is Morgan, and Morgan is down to the make that the 6-yard line, and it's another first down. It'll be first and goal for the Hampton Pirates, who had a record of 10-2 a year ago. They were 7-1 in the MEAC.
I mean, you wonder how this guy runs so effectively up the middle. Well, they've gotten smart. They're running behind the center, Justin Gary and Dennis Connolly, who's a first-team preseason All-MEAC selection over there, and the Hampton Pirate offensive line is making their will enforced against the Aggies in this football game.
Talking about losing and winning streaks, well, the losing streak in the football championship subdivision belongs to, and we're talking about North Carolina schools. The Aggies of North Carolina A&T have lost 18 straight ball games, 13 against MEAC opponents and 8 here at home. They last won a game was October of 05 when they beat Morgan State in overtime 40-33. In the football bowl subdivision, Duke University has lost 22 straight games. They're 0-2 this season, coming into the day's action against Northwestern, who came in 2-0. And I don't know what the outcome of that particular game is. They were up in Big Ten country, but they last won in September of 05 when they beat VMI. They've lost 18 straight against ACC teams and 12 at home. And of course, on the winning side in North Carolina is Appalachian State with 16 straight wins. They're 2-0 after beating Michigan for the big upset of the year in Lenore Ryan. That last loss was to North Carolina State in September of '06, and today they're playing Northern Arizona.
It seems like there's no gray area in the state of North Carolina. You're either doing really well or you're doing really bad. So, feast or famine, as they say.
It is 1st and goal. Morgan in the backfield. Morgan has the ball. Morgan at the 5. Morgan is in the end zone. Touchdown, Hampton Pirates.
Touchdown, Hampton.
Van Morgan getting the payoff after the big run to spark the drive. Gets down there when you got a big load like Van Morgan. He's very tough to bring down if you try and tackle him up high. Look at the fullback going in motion. That's Peyton there. Follow the fullback. You'll find the football. And Morgan having the ability to make himself small to get between the hole and powering through for the score.
79-yard drive on for the point after. Travani. This one is up and it is good. And the Pirates fix their lead to 17-0 here in the first half. 4:54 remaining. Big run by Van Morgan. Help set it up. And we'll be back.
I promised to eat a vegetable as big as my head. As big as my head.
I promise to be more patient. I promise.
I promise.
I promise to hug my wife.
American Family Insurance. We promise to treat your family like our family.
Like our family.
And help make sure you're covered.
Current.
And competitive. American Family Insurance.
American Family Insurance.
Promise has a color. We love that color.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Hey, buddy. Hey, shake.
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Not so fast, my friend. USC's gonna win this one, baby, and I'm gonna tell you why. Man, that's solid gold. Let's get some shut-eye. Big game tomorrow. Good night.
Do you know Game Day? Go to collegegameday.com to find out. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Autumn. And so, the competition returns. And with it, the chance to play without limits. Bound only by will. The commitment is your choice. A championship, a record, or even a new approach. They all begin with a simple pledge. The bigger the goal, the stronger the team. A new season is calling. The NCAA Fall Championships on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
17-0 the score here as the Hampton Pirates just added with Morgan's 7-yard run. Mitchell, a touchdown pass to Brown, and then Travani's 28-yard field goal has accounted for the scoring. All Pirates here in the first half. The Aggies have been close but haven't been able to capitalize. Here come the Aggies up the field, and they get the ball at the 32-yard line. Don't forget ESPNU delivers more action from the gridiron Thursday night. The Bears of Morgan State facing the Pirates of Hampton from Hampton, Virginia. It's primetime college football Thursday presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Comes your way on ESPNU at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And for more information, log on to ESPNU.com. 4:49 remaining. First half at the 32-yard line. The Aggies with the ball.
Got him.
Wide open, should be incomplete. Boy, that could have been 6.
Pass is incomplete.
That could have been 6 and should have been.
Oh, this was design. They did a design rollout, and they caught the linebacker number 50 for Hampton, Michael Sweat, in no man's land. He's responsible for outside contain, so he's just lollygagging, and the running back just comes out against the formation. And wow, as a quarterback, you just got to get that ball out there to him. Don't make him run too far for it.
Yeah, he would have had to make a
great
tremendous catch to haul that one in, but he should have been able to just catch it in full stride and keep going down the sideline. And here on the counter play, they give it to Ferguson. Ferguson out to the 35-yard line.
Ferguson,
the Aggies
takes the ball up to the
next 2 games. This is the first of 3 home games for the Aggies. They'll host the Eagles of North Carolina Central next week, and then they'll be home for a Thursday night game here, and we'll be back to broadcast that one when they take on the Spartans of Norfolk State. 3rd down, quarterback keeper. 1st down for the Aggies. With the whistle blew, knee hit the ground. Ground cannot cause a fumble, and they'll move the chains.
Yeah, he was down there by contact. When you talk about the quarterback there, he should have good job showing he's got athleticism. So you got the defensive end that comes untouched on the outside. That's Charles Robinson, the Pirate linebacker, misses the sack opportunity. And you see there Sheldon Morgan showing you that, you know, I've got some athleticism, so there's some things I can do well. Although I missed that big pass, I still got the 1st down to keep the drive alive.
And what they need to do is put some points on the board before halftime. And he has a completion down to the 35-yard line, so he's throwing the ball pretty good right now as Walls comes up with the reception. They move the chains once again. So the Aggies showing some life on the offensive side of the field.
And that was probably the most comfortable I've seen Sheldon Morgan look in the pocket all day. Sat there, stopped looking at the rush, settled, set his feet, delivered a strike to Curtis Walls before Walls ran into the free safety there. So that's what you want to do. Stick that ball in there before your wide receiver can get hit and get the big play.
Walls almost lost it as, again, they keep the ball on the running back, Ferguson. And Ferguson down inside the 30. And that's a 7-yard gain by Lyon before Lyon made the stop defensively.
Yeah, you know, that's what happens. You know, you start to build things one play at a time, then all of a sudden you start to get the crowd involved. And, you know, football's contagious. You know, it's a body English sport. If your body English is saying bad things, you're going to do bad things. And once you start feeling confident about yourself, the momentum can carry you over.
2nd down, we'll call it 2 for the Aggies. They've moved the ball pretty good on this drive. Little play action. Throws, screen. Not anything doing that time because the defense stayed home and there was nobody to block for the back coming out of the backfield on that screen pass.
And that was a good job by Sheldon Morgan of protecting the football. Anytime you go with a hard play fake and it's an uncovered naked bootleg, so many times young quarterbacks panic and just turn the ball over. But he did a good job of going through his progression, realizing that they didn't fall for the fake, just get the ball to the closest man available so we don't lose yards.
Michael Christian was the man on the reception. Interference against the Pirates. So that'll give them a 1st down.
I mean, and that was the luck there. You know, North Carolina A&T has had some success with some crossing routes early. Now you want to run crossing routes against man-to-man coverage. They're great routes to run, but against a zone.
Pass interference against the Pirates.
You know, what you don't want to do, you have to stop. So you've got to gear down. So Curtis Walls was running across the zone and had a strong safety sitting there in the outside divider ready to make a big hit. And that was going to be a headache because that's Henry Baird.
Yeah.
So you've got to stop. See, crossing routes against zone coverage are not that good. You got to stick the ball in them.
He had 5 tackles against the Aggies a year ago, Henry Baird. And they keep it on the ground and they get down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 2 on the play. That was a 1st down play. And they keep it on the ground, running it with Ferguson. Mike Ferguson has been the workhorse for the Aggies so far today. 9 carries, 43 yards. Had a big day against Prairie View. Mike Ferguson. Walls in motion. Out to Walls, near side, spins out of bounds, stops shy of the 10-yard line, but very close to the 1st down.
And at times, they're showing us flashes that they can put together a good quality drive here. So that was just a leverage play. Allow Curtis Walls to get outside, leverage on the defender, and just get the ball to him as quickly as you can. And you get a ball to a playmaker like Walls in space, he'll fight for 2 or 3 extra yards at the end of that catch.
3rd down and short. Ferguson. 1st down with plenty to spare at the 10-yard line.
I'm going to tell you, they got that 1st down there, but there wasn't any fault of Charles Young for lack of effort. We talk about that defensive line for Hampton University. I mean, they can get it. And the thing that makes Hampton so special is they get so much penetration with only 3 down linemen.
Yeah.
Coach Taylor doesn't believe in 4 down linemen.
North Carolina A&T, first 3 drives, 2 total yards. Look at what they've done recently. Pass, complete. Touchdown, Aggies. They're in the end zone with the big fella, Ortiz Green, taking it in for 6.
Great play selection. You know, Hampton had to be thinking they're going to keep running the ball directly at us. What do you do with a team that's beating us on the line of scrimmage? You give them a hard play action fake and let your fullback sneak out of the backfield. Ortiz Green did a good job getting out of the backfield and showing some quick feet for a guy his size.
Senior, 240 pounds, 5'11", point after touchdown coming from Eric Houston. And this one is good. So as I said, when this drive started, it would have been very important for the Aggies to put some points on the board before halftime, and they do it with 47 seconds to go.
And that's what you need right there. So now you got the Aggie faithful involved, and that's what they want to see. I like the hard play fake and just give them a nice catchable pass, and that's what you need. It was a well-executed drive. They showed some athleticism with the quarterback early in the drive, some great running by Michael Ferguson, and then Ortiz Green getting in there for the touchdown to keep the Aggie faithful alive and well in this contest.
And what made it even interesting is they missed on the previous drive a field goal that was not even close to being good. They could be right within, what?
They could be within a score.
Yeah, 10 points on the board. They could be within 7.
Yeah, but that was impressive. I mean, I'm sure, you know, as they look for things to continue to improve upon, and not long-term so much, but even, you know, in the second half of this football game, you know that you've got the ability to do a 10-play drive on the 3-time conference champions. That lets you know you're not that far. So now the offense has something that they can believe in, and they start taking one step at a time.
Well, everybody has said, Jay, if you're going to get the Pirates, this is the year to get them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, because of all the people that they've lost from a year ago. I mean, you've got to remember this. This is a team that sent 5 kids to the Combine, NFL Combine this year. Marquay McDaniel, Honore Jones, Tavares Spain, Alonzo Coleman, and Justin Durant. Yeah. And then you've got 4 other guys that are still, you know, went to an NFL camp. Fair, Bannister, Faulkner, McCaskill's playing with the Bills. I mean, so, you know, you're talking about one of those guys that was drafted, Justin Durant, playing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Boy, he really got it done on the defensive side of the ball.
He was explosive. We're talking about the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in the MEAC Conference, and he was one of those guys that just always was around the football, and Jacksonville's got somebody special. Those of us that have watched black college football for years know how good he is. Now it's time for the NFL to realize they've got another special football player.
That was a 78-yard drive that the Aggies put together, and that's pretty good.
That was impressive. I mean, I like the way they executed. They showed, and think about it, they didn't allow the setbacks to get him. In that drive, he missed a wide-open receiver during that drive, but the quarterback, Shelton Morgan, didn't let that rattle him, and he settled down and kept the drive alive.
Short kick. Bounces behind one of the Pirates, finally picked up by Teal, and he's dropped inside the 10.
They're getting alive, and, you know, I'll tell you one thing. Joe Taylor's looking forward to halftime coming because A&T's starting to get fired up and the crowd's starting to get behind it. Unfortunately for the Aggies, there's only 42 seconds left, and knowing Coach Taylor the way I think I know him, don't be surprised if you see Hampton think about taking a knee or running 2 plays up the middle to get into the locker room.
42 seconds left in the half. Hampton leading by a score of 17-7. They have the ball, 1st and 10 at the 9-yard line. Van Morgan, the only back in the backfield, and TJ working from the shotgun. Gilchrist is the man in motion. Well, he's not going to take a knee. He's going to throw it out of there and try to get something going. And he kicks it complete to Gilchrist. on the far sideline.
Interesting play calling. I mean, a little bit of aggressive play calling by first-year offensive coordinator Corey Sullivan, you know, to even jeopardize two things. One being a shotgun. Ball can always be snapped over the quarterback's head. And two, to come out and throw the football when clearly you've lost momentum and you've got 36 seconds to go before the half.
And the clock stopped as Gilchrist went out of bounds. And you talk about Corey Sullivan. You know, he's the third offensive coordinator that Joe Taylor's had in the last 3 years. Beatty went over to Northern Illinois, the young man who was here a year ago, as this one is incomplete on the near side. And then, of course, Fred Keiss is down at Tennessee State as the offensive coordinator there. And Corey Sullivan was the receivers coach. And don't forget, coming up at halftime, Sports Center U, Michigan finally bouncing back after going 0-2 to start the season. Texas is doing a two-step in Orlando, and there'll be scores and highlights all coming your way at halftime with Lowell Galindo, Craig Hobart.
So if Michigan bounced back big, that means that Notre Dame is still struggling.
0-3. Wow. 31 seconds to go. They keep it on the ground. You know, talking about Corey Sullivan being the receivers coach for the last couple of years here. When the job came open and Joe Taylor started interviewing people for the position, the players came to him and said, why don't you elevate Corey Sullivan to that position? And he said if the players felt that good about an assistant coach, he would give him an opportunity.
And, you know, that's the type of person that Coach Taylor is. And, you know, when you think about it, everybody talks about, you know, Corey Sullivan says he's a rising star in the coaching profession.
Intercepted. The only problem is the clock is going down, and that's the end of the first half. But 2 turnovers in the first half. This one a pick, and this one was run back by the Aggies. Shaheed, who picks up the INT. That is his second interception of the season. So as we go to the locker room, 30 minutes of football remaining here in Greensboro, North Carolina, with the Aggies trailing by 10, but they've come alive here late in the first half. We'll be back. It's halftime here at Aggie Stadium in Greensboro, North Carolina, as both Hampton and North Carolina A&T will be on ESPNU later this year. The Aggies of A&T will be on ESPNU September 27th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern live as they take on the Spartans of Norfolk State. This Thursday, September 20th, Hampton University will host the Bears of Morgan State from Hampton, Virginia. Next week, Jay Walker and I will be in Louisiana for SWAC football with Alabama A&M visiting the Tigers of Grambling State. We'll pay our respects to legendary coach Eddie Robinson as we go to Grambling for the SWAC matchup, and it's next Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll have more after these messages.
Take a share.
Half gets on the scoreboard, but Hampton being led by T.J. Mitchell getting his start this year, and he completes the pass out here to Kevin Teal, who takes it down the sidelines for 42 yards.
T.J. Mitchell had signs of brilliance, yet sometimes he just didn't complete the easy throw. You saw the touchdown strike there. Great recognition. It's been a hot and cold night for T.J. Mitchell as reflected by his numbers. He's thrown 50%, 1 touchdown, 1 interception at the end of the half. T.J. Mitchell's got to come out and play more consistently in the second half.
Filling big shoes, Princeton Shepard is gone, and he takes over. Meanwhile, the defense of the Aggies of North Carolina A&T did the job when they had to.
Yeah, I thought they played well considering the position that the offense put them in. Hampton dominated with great field position early on to limit this team to only 17 points in the first half, considering Hampton started several drives on their side of the field. The Aggie defense stepped up, and towards the end of the second half, really helped give a kickstart to the Aggie offense by playing superb defense.
Well, Hampton will get the ball to start the second half. If you look at the stats, air rushing yards, Hampton University with a 40-yard advantage there, but in the passing department, of course, the Aggies are not far behind. In fact, in passing percentage, Morgan is 6 of 11 in passing.
And keep in mind, you know, Hampton rushed for 107 yards. 47 yards came on one big run by Van Morgan. So A&T's done a good job of stuffing the Hampton running game. They just have to do a better job of not allowing the big play.
Short kick. Comes down to Kevin Teal. Got some running room. Down the sideline, cuts it back, still on his feet. Back inside the 10, 5, touchdown! No flags. Kevin Teal starting the second half. It's about a 65-yard return for Kevin Teal.
If you're going to pooch kick the ball, you don't want it deep enough where the return guy can get a full head of steam. Look at him. He's running almost full speed to get this ball, and he just turns on the jets. I mean, Teal is an exciting player. You see him get to the outside. Look at the lane there. Great special teams. And then the cut back there on the kicker with the juke, and it became a foot race between he and a linebacker. And, you know, I don't think a linebacker is going to catch Kevin Teal.
12 seconds gone by here in the third quarter, and Hampton has put 7 more points on the board. And here's Kevin Teal, cuts it back inside. The man that kicked it off can't get to him, and he just outruns the rest of the defense of the Aggies and gets into the end zone for 6 more points.
Thank goodness for Kevin that he didn't allow the kicker to break him down. You know, if the kicker made the tackle, then his teammates would have joked him. You know, great return men always say, kickers can't tackle me. So Kevin Teal did a good job. And, you know, the key to great coaching, I think, is how teams come out in the second half. And Joe Taylor obviously went there and gave his Pirates a good old-fashioned talking to, and they responded well with great special teams play.
Well, what's so ironic, the Aggies on defense just didn't do a good job as far as special teams are concerned. Like you said, it was a short kick. He caught it on the run. But you look at this Pirate team, they're ranked 12th in the nation as a team in kickoff returns. Of course, Kevin Teal with that big one, he came into today's action ranked the #3 kickoff return man in the conference, averaging 23 yards per kickoff return, and he's had a couple big ones tonight.
You know, and it doesn't surprise me they're ranked so high, because what happens when you have a team with so much tradition and you're winning all the time, the young players have to earn their playing time. And you earn that playing time on special teams. So what you have is a hungry group of guys on special teams to get on the field. And it reflects in their results.
Robinson on the return for the Aggies, and he gets back to the 30, and that's it.
Up to the A&T 30-yard line. The Aggies will have it first and 10.
But you know, how demoralizing is that? You have a great end of a first half. You come out, you kick off, and then it's returned all the way for a touchdown.
Yeah, you know, that's the key. That's why Shelton Morgan, how are you going to respond? I mean, it's very demoralizing. Right now, this stadium is stunned, and they had so much momentum going into it. You know, but imagine they can get the crowd right back into it if they can manage to put some points on the board during this drive. So you got to make up for it and help pick up your team.
And Ferguson's on the carry, and Ferguson gets a couple of carries.
Takes the ball across the 30
to about the 32-yard line.
Second down.
We're just starting the third quarter here. We talked about the Aggies having, it was kind of a short week for them because they played out in California last week against Prairie View. They were supposed to come back on Sunday morning after the game, but had some airplane problems and wound up not getting back till Monday, so they lost the whole day.
You heard what I told Coach Fobbs. If you're going to get stuck someplace, get stuck in Los Angeles, California.
I'm sure the players didn't mind. This one behind Ferguson, and he can't pull it in.
An extra day in L.A. sure does beat an extra day in middle of nowhere, USA.
You don't want to say.
I wasn't going to say. Yeah, you thought I was going to say something. No. Now third, and right now they're facing a 3rd-7, makeable. Now they fell in love with the crossing routes early. I'm sure Hampton's going to game plan against the crossing routes. Stick something in this seam. You're going to get some zone coverage. Stick it in the soft spot of the zone.
2 of 7 and third down conversions, and this one goes incomplete. And he had a man there. Caldwell was the intended receiver. The senior out of Dudley High here in Greensboro had 1 reception coming in, and so they're 2 of 8 in third down conversions. That is the Aggies, and it'll bring up a punting situation once again.
They've got to be careful here now because, Hampton came out, scored right away. Then you come back and you go 3 and out. Now you have to punt to a very dangerous return man, and Jeremy Gilchrist. And this is where the good teams start to step on the gas pedal and try and put this game away early in the third quarter.
Well, they try to keep it away from Gilchrist, but he'll still field it at the 32. And here we go again. He's
got a wall.
We do get a flag, though. There was a block in the back. It was a little late coming out. So that'll be brought back after he does get across midfield to the 49 of the Aggies. It looked like Charles Robinson was the man who did the pushing in the back for the Pirates of Hampton, number 58. Sam Jones.
Block in the back, doing return above the waist. Number 58. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So it was Charles Robinson. Let's see if we can see it. White's right there. There it is.
He pushed him in the back, and actually that was a great call because had he not pushed him in the back, I don't know if Gilchrist would have got away from that tackle.
Timeout on the field. 13:42 is the time remaining in the third quarter. 24-7. Pirates over the Aggies.
Information that enriches life.
24-7, our score here. Van Morgan has been the big guy for the Aggies of North Carolina. I should say the Pirates of Hampton University. There's another Morgan on the other side. But look at what he's done here. So far, 106 yards, including a 48-yard run.
Yeah, he mixed it up. He ran hard in between the tackles. He found a way to get into the end zone. And he was doing hard bruising running early and also had the ability to have the big run capability with a great first half. 106 yards, averaging 8.8 yards per carry the first half. He just wants to try to do that same thing in the second half and throughout the season. What a wake-up call.
27, yeah, against Howard. But his running partner had big numbers last week. And here we come to the left side. Hampton University keeping it on the ground, and this time it's Gilchrist on the little end around. And they run that a couple times a day. In fact, we've seen them snap it right to the receiver coming around from one side or the other.
You know, that's one of the things that's changed in college football in terms of, you know, it used to be if you were a running team, you ran right up the middle and you were great at blocking 7-on-7. But now with the invention of the spread offense, you know, they're realizing, hey, let's get the ball to playmakers in open space. And you got a fast guy like Gilchrist. If you can get him around the edge, why not take advantage of it? It's just like a good running play.
And this time, again, it's Van Morgan. You talk about what they did against Howard a week ago. One of the things I'm sure Coach Taylor was pleased with is offensive line, because they didn't allow a sack of their quarterback, T.J. Mitchell.
Well, we talk over and over again about Howard is known for having great defense. I mean, that's what they do is they come out and they hit on defense. If they don't score any points, they're going to hit you. The offensive line did a great job, and I'm very impressed with the scheme because they're doing a good job here this evening, too.
A little play action. T.J. steps up in trouble, and he will get back to the 35, and that's it.
Just as we talk about how great the offensive line is doing, they allow 3 Aggie defenders to get back behind the line of scrimmage and pressure T.J. Mitchell out of the pocket there.
When you talk to Joe Taylor and you ask him about the weakness of his team, especially after all the people he lost, he says biggest thing is inexperience at quarterback and wide receiver, because he lost some great receivers, and of course he lost Princeton Shepard from a year ago. Yeah. But you know, like you said, everybody's talking about this is the year to get, as a fumble, the ball's on the ground and Hampton covers it up. But this is the year to get them. But the players know that, because there's always been a target on their back. Even if they didn't lose anybody, when you're the 3-time defending champs, people are going to come after you. Because in order to be a champ, you have to do what?
Beat the champ.
You got to beat the champ.
Like Ric Flair said, in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. But once you beat the man, the hard part is staying the man.
That's right. That's true.
Woo! And he had the Hampton showed the ability to stay the man.
Yeah. And they've stayed the course for a number of years. TJ lets it fly. Has it complete. Still on his feet is Kevin Teal. Teal fumbles the ball, and the Aggies have it. Kevin Teal dancing a little bit too much. He was not going to get to the first down marker. The ball was stripped by the blue jerseys, and the Aggies have the ball. 3rd turnover of the night for the Hampton Pirates.
Yeah, that's one there where you wish you could tell the young man, hey, just go down. You've got all the yards you can get. Don't try to do too much. But so often they're so competitive that wide receivers just try and get that extra yard. You don't want to question their effort there. And unfortunately for the Pirates, he put the ball on the turf.
And here is Ferguson cutting back. First down at the 20. Aggies.
Great job by running by Michael Ferguson, but also the guys up front. I mean, look at this thing. This thing just splits wide open. Look at that crease there. Oh, I like that. Big number 61, John Carter, the left guard on the pulling inside trap, and Ferguson makes the free safety, miss the tackle. Toby Lyon takes a poor angle, and North Carolina A&T, they're showing some flashes, Charlie. I mean, there's something here.
Like you said, they gave up that second half kickoff, but they hold them there. They're knocking on the door, and they're closing the gap here as Walls goes in motion. Goes back to the other side. Here's Morgan in trouble, turns the corner, and gains yards, probably about 7. All the way down inside the 15 to about the 12.
Outstanding play. It was actually a busted play. They were trying to do a throwback screen to Curtis Walls, but you see he gets so far over there, he can't get the ball out, so he just decides, I'm going to take it myself and keep running with the football, and hey, picking up positive yardage. Could have been a 0 play. Instead, he ends up picking up 7 yards, so little things there. You know, they've got some athleticism. They're starting to grow. They're starting to learn how to play the game, Charlie.
Charles Robinson made the stop defensively. Second down now. Bouncing off people is Michael Ferguson, and Ferguson moves the chains, and it'll be first down and goal for the Aggies.
You ever heard the term good old-fashioned hard running?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all that was.
Well, they've had some great running backs here over the years at North Carolina A&T. I mean, you know, the list is long.
With Hicks being the man that stands out, who's currently running for the San Francisco 49ers. I just like seeing good old-fashioned hard running. I mean, that's what they're doing. Nothing flashy, just
play action.
Man, got somebody open.
Pass, touchdown, Aggies. Coming out of the backfield. They complete this one to Mike Christian for 6.
Over-aggressive Pirate defense. Second time they fell for the play-action fake. Look at all the linebackers close to the line of scrimmage. Managed to slip running back out of the backfield for the touchdown. And great execution by the Aggies.
For the point after to close the gap to 10. It's up, and it is good. So the Aggies' second possession of the second half results in 7. And they're down by 10 with 10:46 to go. Third quarter.
Nissan engineers know the backbone of any truck is its frame. That's why the Nissan Titan's frame is fully boxed. Unlike competitors' C frames that are prone to flexing, our box frame is the strongest truck frame we've ever built. Just one more reason, it's the Titan of trucks. The new 2008 full-size Nissan Titan. Now get up to $3,500 Nissan cashback or 1.9% APR financing.
Maybe your car is trying to tell you something. Maybe it's asking for the hard-working gasoline at Phillips 66. Gas specially formulated to help clean fuel injectors in 5 tanks, which helps you maximize mileage and reduce emissions. Give your car what it's asking for. Give it Phillips 66. Hard-working gas.
It's the comedy that's highbrow.
This place is really cool.
Yeah, if you like hanging out with pretentious posers. Can I have a tall soy macchiato and a cranberry biscotti?
Lowbrow.
Come on, man. These ladies aren't gonna make sweet love to themselves, are they? Or are they?
And protruding brow.
Don't. Ever. Goodbye.
Caveman, just like you and me, only hairier. Premieres Tuesday, October 2nd on ABC.
Now get big arms, a ripped chest, and cut abs with the Perfect Push-Up. The Perfect Push-Up works with the natural rotation of your arms and shoulders to maximize results and minimize stress on your body. With the perfect push-up, your hands, arms, and shoulders rotate 90 degrees, just like in a punch. All the energy of the push-up is captured and transmitted right where you want it, to the muscles. There's no wasted effort, just muscle-building movement. And as your arms rotate, you feel it work in your biceps, your triceps, your chest and abs, and your shoulders. Invented by a U.S. Navy SEAL and made with steel and a ball-bearing movement, it's the push-up perfected. So here's the deal. The perfect push-up is only 2 payments of $19.95. When you order, you'll receive 2 perfect push-up rotational handles, and you'll also receive the Navy SEAL-inspired perfect push-up workout chart. You'll be ripped in no time. Get big fast. Call right now for the perfect push-up.
Call 1-800-543-0376.
24-14 as the Aggies take advantage of the turnover by the Pirates, and they take it in from 6 yards out. Don't forget to join host Lowell Galindo and analyst Mike Godfrey and Tom Luganville. We're inside the polls, where you get the most in-depth look at the college football polls, plus a weekly Heisman watch. All that and more comes your way on ESPNU Inside the Polls, presented by 76, and it's Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. Along with Jay Walker, Charlie Neal, along here in Greensboro, North Carolina. First 2 games, 14 points combined. They have 14 tonight and could have more.
They're getting better. That's all you want to do is show signs that you're starting to understand the concept and continue to get better each week. Like they said about the losing streak, we don't care. We're here to win now, and we try and win week in and week out.
Don't let him run it back for a touchdown. Here's Kevin Teal. There he goes again. They got him at the 24. They said, not the second time in my house.
Showing signs of improvement. You know, he did it once, don't let him do it again. So, you know, that was a very big touchdown. It was impressive. I mean, the fact that they answered back to what Hampton was doing, where this game could have got away from them. And, you know, they're hanging in there competing. And actually, you know, if they can force one more turnover, they get right back in this thing. And I think they're doing this on the team that's, you know, the highest ranked black college in the nation right now. So you've got to take some confidence if you're an Aggie fan right now to see these young boys out here competing at this level, showing you that there's no quit in this Aggie.
Hampton will play at home next Thursday. They'll have a short week, and we'll be there as they take on the Morgan State Bears, who lost today. Nothing doing that time for Van Morgan. The defense starting to come alive for the Aggies, and it's good to see that. You know, a touchdown sometimes breeds a little bit of more of camaraderie and enthusiasm on the part of everybody on the team. Special teams, defensive side, everything.
You're exactly right. It really encourages the defense to go out there and let's hurry up and get off the field so we can get the ball back to our offense while our offense has this momentum going. So, you know, football, everything's cyclical. Special teams, offense, defense. That's why it's a team concept, and you have to be good in all 3 of those areas.
TJ on a play action. Throws wide open. And still running for daylight is Gilchrist. And Gilchrist takes it all the way down to the 23-yard line. Boy, I'll tell you, that's a big catch, a big play.
Very dangerous pass, and what a poor angle taken by the secondary of North Carolina A&T. This ball hung forever in the air. And just take a look at Gilchrist. I mean, he's a guy, look at, these are aggressive wide receivers. I mean, they're really excited about the run after catch yards that they get. You can't allow a quarterback to flow the ball over the deep middle of the field. In that case there, Marcus Ruffin, the free safety, that should have been an interception. Instead, it turned out to be a huge play for the Pirates.
Do you miss Marquay McDaniel now and Faulkner and those guys with what you're seeing here? T.J. Mitchell under pressure, throws it in the end zone. There he is, touchdown! Gilchrist, 22 yards.
Good job of getting behind the cornerback and the safety on the 7 pattern. Old-fashioned post corner route, and what a throw by T.J. Mitchell. You see here, he'll come out. Mitchell comes out of there and does a little half a play action fake, rolls on the throw, on the run. But wow, what a job of separation by Gilchrist to get behind the quarterback. Shaheed, number 7 for North Carolina A&T.
75-yard drive. The point after is good, and the lead is now 31-14. Pirates of Hampton University, who scored 31 points a week ago against Howard University. And T.J. Mitchell, a pair of touchdowns tonight.
When hot, molten rock, ash, and gases erupt and escape from deep below the surface, it often results in a touchdown. For those who have what it takes on the inside, Russell has what it takes on the outside.
At Hampton, we love having you here.
Gerber, the baby people you've known since you were a baby, offers you a way to prepare for your child's future with the Gerber Life Grow Up Plan. It's a $10,000 whole life insurance plan that costs just pennies a day. At age 21, that coverage automatically doubles to $20,000 with no increase in premiums. Plus, the plan guarantees up to $100,000 worth of insurance by age 28. Give your child a head start on their future today with the Gerber Life Grow Up Plan.
Call 1-800-652-0101 today.
Little House on the Prairie. Yes! One more. Go. Another. Go. Quick, 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 quick. Okay, 3 words. 3 syllables. First word. Hook. Hook, yes! Hook, hook, hook. Okay. Go. What else? Hook. Horns. Yes! Hook. Horns. Yes! Hook.
You so got it.
You so got it. Come on.
No.
Come on.
An insane deer.
Deer? That's not... Wow. There you go.
Paper. Taco meat.
At Aggie Stadium, you're watching college football presented by Citi. It's a MEAC matchup. The Aggies against the Pirates of Hampton, along with Jay Walker. I'm Charlie Neal. And 3 plays, they were in the end zone, and it was set up by that 52-yard pass play to the receiver Gilchrist, and it was only fitting that he took it into the end zone for another 22 yards. David Robinson trying to get to the outside, cuts it back inside, coming back to the near side. There's a Hampton player laid out on the field at about the 35-yard line, and David Robinson gets it back to about the 39. Player injured, and he's just laying there, and we hope nothing too serious, because he was down where everybody else was running around. Of course, the concern by the players of Hampton University that we do not have a serious injury here. Joe Taylor is out, and there's a penalty flag down, and we get a personal foul, and it goes against the Aggies, and I hoping it wasn't anything. Now they say it's against the Pirates now. And you just hate to see these type of injuries with the player not responding or moving down on the field.
Late hit, defense number 52. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, he's moving, so that's a good sign.
That is.
Carson Bird. Boy, a little scary moment there for Ralph Stewart, number 36.
Yeah, look at the right side of your screen there. You'll see him come out there, and that's there, and he gets made a hard hit and just went out. He couldn't move. And, you know, and the bad thing about it, when the return man cut back against the grain, he still couldn't move out of the way. He was laying there, so I was worried about him getting stampeded on by football players.
Well, the good news is he's up, off on his own power, and the Aggies have the ball, 1st and 10 across midfield at the 46-yard line. Play action. There's a man open, coming back for it. The kid pull it in.
I know you won't get up, but you're going to have to stay.
And that was Lawrence who was trying to catch that.
Say that name.
Giorgio Lawrence.
Giorgio Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence. I call him Lawrence. Everybody else call him Lawrence. I put the French, a little French mustard on there.
With a name like Giorgio.
Second down. Nothing doing. The defense stiffened. Led by Joakim Good. Leading tackler on that defensive side of the ball. Also got some help from his friends there in the Pirates. Also there was Kevin Burke, Jr. out of Richmond, Virginia. Came in here as a transfer from Virginia, number 92.
Look for the Pirates right now that, you know, Coach Taylor and the especially defensive coordinator Jerry Holmes saying, okay, we've been very loose. Now let's really put some pressure on these Aggies. And they're bringing run blitzes up the middle. And they're trying to get to the quarterback. They're not going to allow him to stay in the pocket and get comfortable for it. So look for the Pirates to keep the pressure on now. Third down and 11 now. Here's the blitz coming. Little fade pattern. Boy, had a man running wide open. And the defensive back, Pat Preston, is saying, who had him? He just ran right by him. Yeah, you know, you look at the pressure. This is the blitz coming. But actually, that's just a great job by Marcus Dixon of beating his man one-on-one. See, they did a good job of picking up the blitz, but when it came down to the one-on-one matchup, which is defensive end going against your left tackle, Chad Wiley was no competition for Marcus Dixon on that play.
Gilchrist back to return the punt of Lee Woodson. Well, they've made the special teams an exciting part of this game tonight.
You know, one thing I really like about Marcus Dixon, if we go back to him for a minute, the fact, I mean, he's 6'4", 300 pounds, but if you see him, he looks like he weighs about 250.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lean. His body could probably hold 330 pounds, which is a lot. I mean, look how lean he is. I mean, that's a lean guy. I wonder what his body fat is. So you talk about having the ability to grow and put a little bit more. I think that's what the NFL scouts really like about Dixon.
He's lean like you.
Hey, eating good.
It's fourth down. Well, what I liked about what the punter did this time, and I'm talking about Lee Woodson, there was no pressure coming from the Hampton Pirates, so he took his time in punting that ball to allow coverage to get down and cover, forcing the fair catch, and in fact they wind up downing it at the 3-yard line. So that's where it'll be. Don't forget, ESPNU delivers more action from the gridiron Thursday night. It's the Morgan State Bears facing these Hampton Pirates. Jay and I'll be there for that one. Thursday primetime college football, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings on ESPNU at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com.
That's a good matchup there. I mean, that's one of those student-teacher matchups. You know, Don Hill Ely at Morgan State, coached for many years at Hampton, helped Coach Taylor build the program. So he hasn't been able to get over the hump and beat the teacher yet, but there are many people that think this is a year that Morgan State could be the sleeper program in the conference. Oh, what a beautiful throw.
Great throw with pressure. He threw it from the end zone, and the intended receiver for the Hampton Pirates of Gus was Kevin Teal, running downfield, and he almost came up with a big catch.
I mean, he put it right in the breadbasket. I mean, T.J. Mitchell, that's a big-time throw. You can't throw it any better than that. That's when you go down there and you tell the wide receiver,
this is what happens.
Look up when you get 40 yards downfield.
I think what T.J. did, he just threw it as far as he could. Because you know Kevin Teal has 4.2 40 speed. No matter how far I throw it, I can't overthrow him.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't throw a ball that accurately if you're throwing it with everything that you have. So that was just a big-time throw. Wow.
You're talking about Hampton. Talking about Hampton alumni in the NFL. Joe Taylor's coached a lot of these people. Most of them, in fact, all of them. Jerome Mathis with the Texans, and Justin Durant with the Jaguars. Darian Barnes with the Jets. Alonzo Coleman is a practice squad with the Cowboys, and Jamal Brooks, a linebacker, with the Rams. I mean, he's just turning them out, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what happened. He's starting to have what they call a football factory. And as everybody knows, everybody in black college football was proud to have 5 Hampton Pirates invited to the NFL Combine last season.
This is Gilchrist on a 3rd and 6. And they wrap him up pretty good. Right at about the 10-yard line, so he's going to be short. Make it at 11. He's going to be short of a first down.
Yeah, that's a great stop by North Carolina A&T. Not allowing Hampton to keep the football, to get them a 3 and out when you got them pinned. See, those are things that teams have to learn to do on a consistent basis, and good job by the Aggies.
This is a returnable kick. A block down the sideline. On the return for the Aggies, Quentin Cosby, a penalty marker, is down. Way back right by the midfield stripe. Let's see if this is against the Aggies. The Pirates seem to think so. They're walking back. They're calling illegal block in the back against the Aggies. What a great return, though. But let's look at what Mr. Ferguson has done for the Aggies so far. Michael Ferguson running the ball.
He's done a good job of mixing it up. And, you know, Ferguson's one of those guys where what you see is what you get. Hard nose, good tough running. You know, not a game breaker with a 4.3 40 speed, but he's solid, dependable, knows how to set up his linemen for the blocks downfield. So Ferguson's been Michael Ferguson, very steady and consistent. 15 yards, 78 yards, 15 rushes, 78 yards on the ground, 5.2. So good hard running this evening by Michael Ferguson.
Yeah, 22 just shy of the 100-yard mark. So now the Aggies will, after the penalty, instead of getting the great field position on the Pirate side of the 50, they'll be spotted all the way back at the 40-yard line, where to be first down and 10 from the shotgun. Well, that's a fumble. They need to pick that one up. Boy, that's a lateral pass, and that would be a fumble.
Recovered by the Aggies.
Fortunately for them, they were able to pick that one up. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah, that could have been, and it actually looked like one of the defensive linemen from Hampton was shot out of a cannon as quickly as he was in the backfield. I mean, wow, look at that. He had no time. He did a good job of just getting rid of that football. But wow, Marcus Dixon once again showing out here on TV this evening.
Loss of 11 on that play. It'll be second down and 21. Ferguson almost fumbled the ball. He was hit as he spun around. The ball started to come out. He was just fortunate enough he had the presence of mind to pull it back in.
You know, you got to protect the football first and foremost. And there was a hole there on the left side. On the right side, had he not bobbled that football a little bit, probably could have had a big game there. But once again, North Carolina A&T getting ready to face one of those third and extremely long situations because of the setbacks they had on first down.
Aggies of 2 of 9 in third down conversion so far tonight. Plenty of time. Almost caught.
They caught it.
Off of the carom, off the tip. But it's still not enough for a first down, believe it or not. And it was Mike Caldwell who came up with the reception. This is the little tip drill.
This is getting lucky. I mean, you're throwing the ball to Curtis Walls, who's covered. You got a Pirate in front and behind, but actually Mike Caldwell being Johnny on the spot. He comes back to get this ball right there.
That should be a first down.
That should be a first down. He got a bad spot.
That's a bad spot. That should have been a first down. Unfortunately, there's no replay, but they're going to go for it on fourth down. And they're going to be short. But it shouldn't even have came to that because the officials gave him a bad spot.
Yeah, he got a bad spot. Maybe they'll give him a makeup spot now because it looked like he didn't get it. But wow, they're giving him progress on the 50-yard line. Looks like that's going to be a first down for the Pirates. For the Aggies, pardon me.
If they spot the ball there, they're going to bring the chains out.
So you see here, he's got to get to the 50. Did he ever make it to the 50? See, I don't see how they give him the ball on the 50.
No.
He was clearly behind it, but they spotted the ball.
Maybe they knew they messed up on the previous one. I don't know.
Well, there is a Jumbotron here at Aggie Stadium, so maybe, you know, the officials, they can see what's going on.
Didn't get it. By about an inch. He didn't get it.
Wow.
Lee Fobbs on the sideline. But I'll tell you, They got a bad spot. Let's see if we can see the play before that was caught after the tip. Now look where his knee goes down and look where the ball is. He is on the opposite side of midfield. It never even crossed other than him being slid across by the defender that was covering him, Tobin Lyon. But that should have been a first down for the Aggies.
So they caught a tough break there. And
yeah, they did.
And although you don't hate to make excuses, even in that case, you have to be able to get 4th and half a yard. You've got to be able to do that, and I think Coach Files will be the first one to say that.
At midfield now, the Pirates of Hampton University take over. First down and 10. Teal in motion. Quarterback keeps it, lets it go. Intercepted.
Ball is intercepted.
Michael Pace.
By number 26, Michael Pace.
With the interception. The junior from Gulfport, Mississippi. A lot of pressure on T.J. Mitchell. He threw that under duress, and it was a little short.
Yeah, I mean, this is a completely blind. One thing as a quarterback, you hate having to turn your back completely to the defense. He just gets there and unloads this ball as far as he can. And unfortunately for T.J., his wide receiver, Justin Brown, could not stop Michael Pace from coming down with that interception. And, hey, the Aggies are hanging tough in there, Charlie.
Now they have to do something with it at their own 22-yard line is where they start. 4th turnover of the night for the Pirates of Hampton University. Little screen pass. Intercepted! Touchdown! Pirates! Kendall Langford, the preseason defensive player of the year, takes it in.
And that's what a D lineman's taught to do. Once you realize that the offense is called any type of screen, you look for the running back. And he was looking for the running back and actually saw that ball hanging in the air forever. What athleticism by the big fella Kendall Langford to get the interception and the score.
He takes it in. Kendall Langford. They love to see that defensive lineman. This looked like when the Aggies were going to have something going for them after picking off the Pirates. They turned the ball over. It was a screen pass set up, but the quarterback just threw it a little bit too high and over the intended receiver.
Yeah, hung in the air forever. What you have there, when you throw a screen, many times you have to throw the ball over linemen that are in your face. And what you have to do, it's a little bit of a touch pass. There's an art to throwing a screen pass, and that ball just floated on him and sailed in the air and hung in the air forever. And Kendall Langford, with great recognition, to go pluck that ball out of the air and take it to the house.
I mean, because he had to go down to get that one. It wasn't like it was right in his mitt. He had to stoop a little bit. This kick is up, and it is good. And the Pirates extend their lead to 38-14. Let's look at it once again.
You see, he's trying to throw the ball over the lineman coming, but that ball's so high in the air, he was actually going to hit his lineman in the back there. I don't think he saw the running back. Kendall Langford did a good job. I mean, watch him come all the way across. I mean, he got some momentum going and got those big paws on that football and held on to it. I don't like the showboat piece right there.
You did that here. There is our quarterback. Of course, the man who's consoling him is Herb Miller, who had to been the starter and out with a knee injury. 3rd time in 4 years that they've lost a quarterback to a season-ending injury, and Miller's gone for the year.
You know, and that tells you that up front on the trenches, you're not as firm as you need to be on your offensive line, because your quarterbacks must be taking plenty of shots if they're getting knocked out for the season.
They also, that is, the Aggies have lost Demetric Chancellor, a sophomore out of Miami running back, has an injured shoulder. He got hurt on the first carry of the ball game for himself against Prairie View last week in L.A. Is not sure whether he'll be back this year or not. From the 15-yard line. Good return out to the 37-yard line. 22-yard return. First and 10 Aggies, trailing now by 24 points. Shelton Morgan, 8 of 18, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a very costly interception the last time they had the ball. Each team has taken advantage of the other team's turnovers at least once tonight. This time,
Mike Ferguson on the carry.
Carries across the 40 to the 41, 42-yard line. Penalty markers are down.
This is the point here where you test the character of your team. You got a couple things that you got a couple bad breaks. One, you didn't pick up the first down, got short change on the spot, then you turned the ball over. What's the character of the team? And one thing that Coach Fobbs has always said is he likes the character of his team. And just being around Coach Fobbs, he's the type of person where character means a lot. And this is, you're talking about a coach that played football at Grambling. He played for Coach Eddie Robinson. And he's in that same mold in terms of, hey, he said the best part about the job is never going to be wins and losses. No matter how many games he wins, it's going to be about changing the lives of young men.
That's right. Yeah, look at this Pirate team, and you're talking about some teams rebuild, Hampton reloads.
Well, look at the team.
And that's what they're doing. They've done so far this year. In fact, this week they're ranked 13th in the football championship subdivision in the nation of all the teams. Of course, Appalachian State still at the top of the pack. But
A&T used to reload. That's the thing. I mean, they used to reload, and they had Bill Hayes with that wing T. They were always reloading. Now Hampton's a team that's reloading year in and year out.
Ferguson again moves the pile forward on a 1st and 5 play, and he's close to a first down.
But there's still some big question marks. We talk about Hampton reload, and it's been, I don't think Coach Taylor knows how good this team can be. I think, most teams talk about reloading, they lose 1 or 2 players, but I mean, Hampton lost stars.
But when you talk to Coach Taylor, he talks about, and we talked about all the defensive secondary people like he lost from a year ago, Marlon Fair, Bannister, those kids. But he says this defensive line that he has right now is the best he's had since he's been there, 16 years.
He loves it. I mean, he loves it. And what do you think he's going to say when you talk about the defense?
Nice attempt at the catch. Good adjustment by Caldwell. He just couldn't come down with it. But he made a great attempt to adjust to catch the ball.
Good effort for the ball. And, we talk about Coach Taylor, when you lose 6 starters from linebacker and safety, all he had left was the defense. So that's why he's in love with his defensive line. They got to carry the team. And as you see Caldwell here go up between the 2 Pirate defenders trying to come down, that's just great effort.
Now that was a 2nd and 1 play. This is a 3rd down and inches again for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. Weren't successful the last time. Can they do it this time? Yes, with plenty of room to spare. And Ferguson picks up the first down, and they're across midfield with 2:51 to go in the 3rd quarter into Pirate territory.
And that was a good one there. More important because you keep the ball and the clock, keeps running. Because at this point, you have to think we've got to keep the Hampton offense off the field right now. And so do ball control, hold on to it, and end up with a good drive where you get some points on the board.
And I'll tell you why Coach Taylor talks about his defensive line. You earlier talked about Marcus Dixon, and you saw what Kendall Langford did. They called them the Twin Towers.
6'4" and 6'6" between them. I can see why.
This is a little bit short of the intended receiver. And that was Walls down the field. Curtis Walls. And let's watch Marcus Dixon come in and apply pressure. Preseason 2nd team all MEAC.
I mean, they're active, and I think this group here, they want to play on Sundays. And one thing I've always noticed about defensive line, it's never good when you have just one good one. If you've got one good one, then the other person on the other side has to be very good as well. That's where they came up with the term bookends. And what Hampton has right now is they've got bookends that are having fun out there chasing the quarterbacks and running backs and trying to outplay each other. And in doing so, that's really increasing their level of play.
Now you saw the pass there by Morgan to Walls cutting across. I just think he got a little anxious because Walls was open. All he had to do was just make it easy for him, and he'll end up almost throwing it behind him.
And those are the freshman nerves that he has. Most young players get in there and they get so nervous they can't do the simple things. I mean, you're a quarterback. You've been throwing balls 5 yards. A 5-yard completion is nothing, but you get caught up in the moment. You start thinking and you overthink, and all of a sudden you start just making simple mistakes.
Has to pick it up. He dropped the snap that time, intercepted on the far sideline, and coming back with it is Pope. Pope down the sideline and run out of bounds before he could do any damage by Dion McNair.
Getting a little
rockers down. So let's see if this is going to hold up as far as the. We had a delay of game against the Pirates. Oh, illegal block on the return. Okay, so the interception will hold up. That happened after.
I mean, it all starts with a bad snap. Anytime you drop the ball, it's a good snap. He dropped it. So when you drop that ball, you have to take your eyes off the defense. And bad things happen when you take your eyes off the defense. And look at Pope. That's textbook right there. Every defensive back coach in America should look at that highlight. That's how you tell somebody you catch the ball at its highest point. Don't let it come to you. Go up and catch that ball at its highest point. Sam Pope doing a good job of playing cover 3 corner.
First down and 10, Hampton Pirates at their own 41-yard line, and now a timeout being called by the Aggies because their defense wasn't ready. And the Pirates were ready to snap it and put 6 more on the board. Player shake it up for the Aggies is Brandon Colbert, who's played a pretty good ball game at that linebacker spot for them today.
Yeah, he's been very active all over. That's a tough blow. Because as you start to think this game goes on, Hampton's going to try and emphasize the running game more. And you lose inside linebackers, that's tough.
When we talked to Coach Lee Fobbs yesterday, we talked about his recruiting and how far away he is. And, of course, this is his 2nd year. He says he's about 1 recruiting class away from having his team where he wants them to be. Of course, a year ago, they were 0-11. They're hoping that to do that and repeat that performance today. It's not something that you want to be proud of, having 18 straight losses. I mean, you've used up a bunch of quarterbacks over the last few years. Marshall Glenn is the only quarterback they've had in recent years that started any significant games. 5 years, I mean, he started 24 games. And here, running with a reckless abandon is Van Morgan.
Morgan on the carry. Takes the ball across midfield.
When we talk about that, and it's tough because the whole program itself, you had, in a 5-year period, you went through 3 coaches.
Yep.
And you went through, Bill Hayes, George Small, and now Fobbs. So the recruiting can never be consistent. And one thing about college recruiting, it's all about relationships.
No question.
You go in there and you meet the high school coach and you know them and you've got a good relationship. I couldn't blame a high school coach for not sending a kid to North Carolina A&T until they get some stability at the head coach position.
That should be a late hit.
Yes.
Out of bounds. No question about it. Mathis on the carry. He was way out of bounds when Antonio Johnson came up to make the stop. Antonio Johnson is quite a story. Number 81. He's a former Marine. Spent 6 months in Iraq back in 2003. Oldest member of this team is 27 years of age.
You would think with the military background, he'd be a little bit more disciplined than to make a tackle on the sideline there.
He's been married 5 years. I mean, he's old as you, Jed. They got a personal foul against Hampton and a personal foul against the Aggies.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense, late hit. Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the defense. No penalty, offset.
That's the results of the play. Because it was a dead ball, it occurred after the player went out of bounds, so they should be able to keep the ball right where they are, first down.
Yeah, and this was a good run by Dennis Mathis. Wow, wearing that 22, he looks a whole lot like Alonzo Coleman, doesn't he? The way he hits that corner, and about the same build that Alonzo was when he first came in here. They just talk about reloading on the field as well as in the recruiting battles down there in the Tidewater area.
Came into the game, that is Dennis Mathis. Just 2 carries coming in before tonight in the season opener against Howard. But I'll tell you, I like the way this kid Morgan hits the hole.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a load. He hits the hole. He keeps his feet going. All the things you really like about a running back. I mean, you can't arm tackle him, that's for sure, because he's so strong with his legs. I mean, look at the build there. I mean, those big old thighs, and he's solid up top. He's got trunk. Look at those legs. You want to arm tackle that?
And that's what he's done tonight. 134 yards and a touchdown. And we have 1:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter. T.J. Mitchell with room on the right side. Throws it on the out pattern. Has it complete on the far sideline. Going toward the end zone. Touchdown, Hampton University. And that was Kevin Teal once again getting into the end zone. The third touchdown pass tonight for T.J. Mitchell. He had 3 last week, 3 more tonight. And now with that touchdown, the Aggie fans, with the third quarter coming to an end, are starting to vacate Aggie Stadium.
Yeah, you know, what a throw there on the out route. Look at Teal with the presence to know, hey, the defender fell down. Nobody's going to come hit me. I'm not just going to go out of bounds. He stuck with it, put on some moves. And between Kevin Teal and Gilchrist, they're not very big, but boy, they sure are fun to watch.
54 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, and it's 45-14.
You know, the faithful stuck with them as long as they can, but this game is starting to get away from them, and it was the little things. They were very competitive early on, but now's the time where you have the discipline, and you know, it's been a very disappointing home opener for Coach Lee Fobbs for the 2007 season, to say the least, but the score is not reflective of how close this game was. I mean, this game was close the whole first half, but a great team comes out in the second half and makes adjustments, and they made some adjustments that the Aggies could not match in intensity.
Kevin Teal with 2 touchdowns tonight. He had a 65-yard kickoff return, and then he catches the touchdown pass from Mitchell, who's thrown 3 touchdowns 2 straight weeks in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, he's got room for improvement. I think, you know, that'll be the first thing. Although the numbers look good with touchdown, there were many things that he did where he could have improved his performance. So that's why you have the film and you go through the film study, because he missed some wide open throws, and it's a maturation process. And you know, ultimately at Hampton, the job of the quarterback is you're going to be judged by your winning percentage. And that record that Prince and Shepard have, losing 3 games in 4 years, is remarkable. And I don't know if that's ever going to be beat.
3 times here in the second half, the Pirates have scored. They led at the halftime 17-7. And when I say scored, I mean on drives, or they had the second half kickoff, they ran it back to make it 24-17 or 24-7. And then Morgan's 6-yard pass to Christian made it 24-14. Then Mitchell with a 22-yard pass. Langford a 30-yard return of an interception, and then Mitchell a 29-yard pass to Teal. And you know, now it's all of a sudden 45 points, where at halftime it was a 10-point ball game, 17-7.
Yeah, so I think Hampton, we talked about the 3 teams, you know, offensive teams, special teams, and defensive teams, and it was a team performance by Hampton. I mean, they beat A&T in special teams. They beat them on defense. They got the interception, and the defense put points on the board. Offense has stepped up and put some points on the board as well. So great team effort by the Pirates.
Aggies trailing 45-14 with 15 seconds to go in the third quarter, and they're facing a 2nd down and 8. Ball goes through the hands of the quarterback, and he has to fall on it at the 18-19 yard line. Boy, you're talking about the fans getting restless.
I'm getting restless.
The natives get restless.
You know, when you look at good football.
You know, you look at the tradition again of Aggie football, and these people are hurting here in Greensboro as we get ready for the fourth quarter. 15 minutes of football left in Greensboro. We have a 31-point lead for the Pirates of Hampton, and we'll be back.
Tuesdays on ESPNU, take a share in the Summer House.
All right, boys, welcome home.
As some of the country's best freshman football players live under one roof.
Get over the line, bro.
What they'll face will be tougher than any 2-minute drill.
Running out of that tongue, unbelievable.
With the season coming to an end, don't miss another day in the Summer House.
That was definitely an experience just to look around the stadium.
Summer House, Tuesdays at 9 on ESPNU. Presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, game day.
Yeah, like your breakfast.
Birdwood, your new car's rolling.
It's not stolen, I just bought it.
It's gonna hit that truck.
There's no need to swear. Hot car, huh?
It's on fire.
Do you have new car replacement? Call Allstate to sign up today. Are you in good hands?
Team USA's quest for the Cup continues. After intense pressure from the Swedes, world-class striker Abby Wambach rose to the occasion.
There's Wambach. She's a great player, and she nails it.
You just can't hit it any sweeter than that.
Now undefeated in their last 48 games, Team USA faces Nigeria to solidify a spot in the quarterfinals. The FIFA Women's World Cup, Nigeria versus USA, Tuesday at 7:55 a.m., live on ESPN.
Remember that Monday when Dennis Smith laid that hit on Gary Clark and the whole bar just went quiet? Until you screamed, "Hit me with your best shot," and we all laughed because that song was still kind of popular? And remember how unfunny it was when you yelled it after every hit? And how really unfunny it was when you yelled it after that fair catch? Remember that? Well, this Monday, when Santana Moss and the Redskins battled Donovan McNabb and the Eagles, don't do that.
Start the fourth quarter here in Greensboro. You're watching college football presented by City. It's a MEAC matchup. The Hampton Pirates against the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. Along with Jay Walker, I'm Charlie Neal. And the Aggies tried to hang tough there for a while, but we still have 15 minutes of football left. As you look at total yards, Hampton is almost doubled, half doubled, basically, what the Aggies have been able to put out.
Yeah, second half dominance by the three-time defending MEAC champions, showing why they're still the highest ranked black college team in the land.
Third down for the Aggies right now. This pass is complete. And Mike Caldwell gives his team a first down at the 31-yard line on the reception from the quarterback, Shelton Morgan.
Now, you know I'm not a coach, but if I were a coach, those are the type of pass plays that I would have called from the beginning of the game. You got a young quarterback going against the best defensive line, probably one of the best defensive lines in 1AA. You know he's going to be nervous.
Oh, that was not a first down. I'm sorry, it was third and forever. I saw the wrong, I'm looking at the wrong marker, chain marker over there. It's 4th down and 9 now.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would like to have seen him roll the quarterback out a little bit more. Give him simple throws where it's just a run-pass option. If it's there, take it. If not, you just, you know, throw the ball away or just run. But you can't ask a young freshman quarterback to stay in the pocket against these Neanderthals that Hampton has that they call D-linemen.
Gilchrist is the deep man. And what do we have? A delay of game?
Yeah, on purpose. On purpose, because you had two Aggie defenders or two Aggie special teams players that weren't on the field. So rather than risk punting the ball and getting it blocked because you don't have enough blockers, they did the smart thing, and they didn't want to get called for illegal substitution, so they just went ahead to delay a game.
Lee Woodson, who's been a busy man himself this evening, punting the ball for the Aggies, will be punting to a very dangerous Jeremy Gilchrist. Good kick, though. Gilchrist calling for the fair catch, makes it at the 35-yard line. And join hosts Laura Galindo, analyst Mike Godfrey, and Tom Luganbill for Inside the Polls. That's where you get the most in-depth look at the college football polls, plus a weekly Heisman watch. All that and more on ESPNU Inside the Polls, presented by 76, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com.
Well, you were asking me earlier who my Heisman favorites were as well, and you know, I actually think Brian Brown has got a good chance if Louisville can run the tape.
No question. T.J. Mitchell, Offensive Player of the Week last week for his performance. 310 yards and 3 touchdowns against Howard. Well, he may pick it up again as we get Mr. Mathis running around the left side. Now, we'll probably see Herbert Bynes come on. I see him throwing the ball over there on the far sideline. He is a redshirt freshman from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I mean, T.J. Mitchell, what else can he do today in terms of stats? 11 of 20, 188 yards and 3 touchdowns. And even though he was picked off twice this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, up and down, he's got to get more consistent. You know, and although T.J. is that's the backup quarterback, Herbert Bynes, they're a big kid that we'll probably see in this contest. You know, interesting when I talked to Coach Taylor and staff, and look at this hard running by Van Bork.
That's what we were talking about. That's what I was talking about the last time he had the ball. I mean, he's just
He's a workhorse.
He's a man.
He's a workhorse. You know, that's what he is. He's a man. And he's a workhorse. Kind of, you know, reminds me of Dorsey Levens. I mean,
and they say he's not the refrigerator, but he's a pickup truck. He disregards stop signs, right?
Yeah, he keeps going. He keeps going. But, you know, the last thing on T.J. Mitchell was, you know, I asked him, he's a sophomore, but Coach Taylor said, but he's a mature sophomore. He said he's probably the toughest guy on my team. And he's an older sophomore, you know, explaining that, meaning, you know, out of high school, he went to prep school. Then from prep school, he went to West Virginia University. And then he's been with our program now for 2 years. So he's a sophomore, but he's been playing football for a while. And he's an older sophomore. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can have when your coach tells you that the quarterback is the toughest guy on the team.
Yeah, yeah. And T.J. Mitchell runs it out of bounds. Out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, T.J. went to Lansdowne High, played for Coach Beatty, who was the offensive coordinator for the Pirates a year ago at Lansdowne High, who has now gone on to take over a job at Northern Illinois University.
And he's one of those rising stars in the coaching profession that is Beatty, and coached a guy by the name of Percy Harvard.
Yeah.
Star wide receiver for the University of Florida.
And again, on the carry is Van Morgan for the Pirates.
When we talk about Florida, I mean, who's going to slow them down? You know, I think they feel a little bit of disrespect too. You talk about, you know, University of Florida, because they're not the #1 ranked team in the country. You know, USC is. You know, followed up by LSU and Florida, where we're the defending national champions. So that's my problem with the rankings. You know, you got to, until somebody beats them, keep them up top.
And again, carrying, as they say, the rock for the Hampton Pirates is Van Morgan. He's close to 150 yards rushing today. 144 before that carry.
And this is right now at this point, what you're seeing from North Carolina A&T is not to say they're giving up, but they're fatigued. I mean, second half, they've been on the field for a number of snaps.
The defense.
Yes.
Morgan again on the carry.
Morgan on the carry.
Now let's see what the Pirates have to look forward to. Of course, we'll see them Thursday. Then they'll play Delaware State. That might be the toughest matchup that they have early on before they go to Princeton. And then they're at Norfolk State. Then they will play South Carolina State, which could be their next big nemesis at home. But don't forget Florida A&M. They're playing pretty good ball right now.
Yeah, FAMU is. They're one of the teams that everybody wants to see. Morgan State, you know, I told you earlier, I think they're the surprise team. But the good news for Hampton, their 2 toughest games of the year are going to take place by the sea in Hampton at home.
Morgan doesn't get anywhere that time, as Kelvin Jackson, number 71, was right there to meet him in the hole.
And the talk is, you know, and around the MEAC is that Delaware State team. I mean, Delaware State came out with a quality win over Coastal Carolina week 1, followed that up and put a hurting on Florida A&M. And now, you know, what can they do? Can they hold on? Last year, they were one of the surprise teams. Coach Al Levan had snuck up on some folks.
Yeah.
Now, they can't sneak up on anybody.
Here's a end around, little counter play to Gilchrist, coming back inside on a 3rd down play, but he's going to be about 2 yards shy of a 1st down, and it'll bring up a 4th down situation. Now T.J. looking over to the sideline to Corey Sullivan and the coaching staff to see what do you want to do on 4th down.
And I'm surprised they're not kicking that, because, you know, this is when you got to think down, you know, long term. You know, maybe you're going to try and draw them off sides, but you got a freshman kicker that needs to kick in some clutch situations.
It would be a 42-yard field goal attempt if they kick from here. He's already, Torvani, hit a 28-yarder earlier today. Teal is in motion. And they're taking the snap. Going to Teal. He's out there. There's another man there. What a catch. Teal was open, but instead he came back in the middle to Gilchrist, and Gilchrist takes it to the 1 where it's 1st and goal.
And you know what was so great about this catch is you take a look at it's all hands. He catches his ball with his hands and keeps it over the helmet of the defensive back. I mean, you know, that DB was coming. Had he brought that ball straight down, it would have come out.
Yeah.
But look at the hands, and to keep it there, that's a great catch by Gilchrist, who's had a great evening. here in Greensboro.
6 catches, 112 yards, and a touchdown so far. And now a timeout is being called. And it's the Pirates that call it with 9:16 to go and leading 45-14.
Maybe your car is trying to tell you something. Maybe it's asking for the hard-working gasoline at Phillips 66. Gas specially formulated to help clean fuel injectors in 5 tanks, which helps you maximize mileage and reduce emissions. Give your car what it's asking for. Give it Phillips 66. Hard-working gas.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual.
The chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup is on ABC. Defending series champion Jimmy Johnson won back-to-back races to end the regular season with a dominating 6 wins. Can Jimmy continue the momentum as the postseason goes green? The chase is on as 12 drivers battle it out for the championship in NASCAR's version of the playoffs. Every lap matters. The chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup begins at New Hampshire. Coverage starts tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ABC.
So, have you been on a lot of blind dates?
Well, this would make one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Me too. What do you do?
I'm a vet.
I love animals.
Really? Where are you from?
Michigan, born and raised. Go Blue.
Go Buckeyes! Go Buckeyes!
I'm number 1. I'm number 1. Oh, I'm number 1. Oh, hey. Back off. Hey.
State Farm is proud to sponsor the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Call your local State Farm agent today.
Tuesdays on ESPNU, take a share in the Summer House.
All right, boys. Welcome home.
As some of the country's best freshman football players live under one roof.
Get over the line, bro.
What they'll face will be tougher than any 2-minute drill.
Running out of that tongue. Unbelievable.
With the season coming to an end, don't miss another day in the Summer House.
That was definitely an experience just to look around the stadium.
Summer House, Tuesdays at 9 on ESPNU. Presented by Under Armour.
My first month I saw mostly in black and white.
At 18, my heart pumps 100,000 times each day. By age 45, my skeleton has replaced itself 4 times. And by now, I've taken over 700 million breaths on this 80-year journey we all share.
Inside the Living Body premieres Sunday at 8, 9 Pacific on Channel 276, the National Geographic Channel.
The ball is actually spotted at the 2-yard line. 6 catches today for Jeremy Gilchrist. He had 8 last week against Howard. 6 tonight, and here's Morgan, untouched by human hands in the end zone. And 6 more points on the board for the Pirates.
Yeah, you know why he wasn't touched? Because Hampton got big. We talk about Morgan being a big load. Well, what do you do when they put 3 backs in the backfield and you follow big Akeem Lamar, number 71, in the backfield? Little refrigerator Perry style.
Second touchdown of the night for Morgan. who has put up some big numbers in terms of rushing. And he's right at about 154 yards for tonight, and the point after is good. And the lead is increased to 52-14. But T.J. Mitchell, even though he's made some mistakes, and you said he still has some growing to do, he's thrown a pair of interceptions, but he's hit people when he had to.
Yeah, that was great recognition there on the one-on-one coverage, sticking that in there. And then you saw him early. This could have been another touchdown, but had the tight end helped him out and drug his feet, that would have been another touchdown for T.J. Then he got outside the pocket. Great throw on the run. I mean, the wide receivers really stepped up in the second half. And T.J. there showing he's got mobility, and he can zing it on the run. He's very comfortable outside the pocket. That was just a great job by Kevin Teal.
I thought that was one of his best passes of the night because he was rolling right. He could have taken off and running because there was some room out there for him to run as you look at his numbers tonight. But he puts a lot of mustard on the ball because to run and throw the ball with that much accuracy and that much zip on it is not that easy.
No, it's not. You know, and the key is the 3 touchdowns is great. And he showed the touch there, and that's being in command of the offense. But the 2 interceptions, and I'm not knocking this Aggie defense, but this is not a defense that should force a quarterback into 2 interceptions in 3 quarters worth of work.
Aggies bringing it back out. Cosby on the return. The defensive backs coach, Travis Oliver, for the Aggies played at Hampton. So, you know, I'm sure he wanted his DBs to do a better job, especially against these receivers. And like we were talking about the kids they lost from a year ago, McDaniel and
Andre Jones and
Andre Jones. Hey, these guys are going to make them forget them quick, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, when you talk about McDaniel and Faulkner and Henry Jones, all those guys were 6 feet, 6'1". Faulkner was even 6'4",
yeah,
6'5".
These are the Smurfs.
These are the little rugrats here. I mean, they chop up some grass and they get it done in a hurry. So different defense in those guys. You get them the ball in space, they can really do some special things that bigger receivers can't do.
Michael Ferguson on the carry, and we talked about the Aggies having a tradition also. There are some players in the NFL. Julius Costin out of the Green Bay Packers. Curtis DeLoach with the Panthers. Maurice Hicks with the 49ers. Jason Horton with the Texans.
Maurice Hicks.
And the Texans, I think, are playing in Carolina tomorrow. They're playing the Carolina Panthers. So Jason will probably have to get up off some tickets.
The cost of coming back too close to home. And,
right.
You know, one thing when you talk about Maurice Hicks, there are some that would argue that he's been the best running back to come out of HBCU in the past 20 years. Any comment on that?
Better than some of the other kids we've seen?
That's what I always thought Coleman was very special.
Right.
But I mean, Hicks, you know, the records he set here at A&T, you know, we talk about a guy that was a free agent to the NFL and still sticking around, let you know he's got something special with him and he can really step.
Deion McNair has checked into the lineup at a running back spot out of Randolph, North Carolina, sophomore. He's in the backfield now. The ball out at the just shy of the midfield stripe. Second down. This one almost picked off, and there's a penalty marker down.
Pass is incomplete.
Line judge.
There's a flag on the play.
Anise Kennedy is our line judge tonight, the only female official in championship subdivision football.
You got that down, don't you? Championship subdivision football.
Hey, I had to. They said don't say 1AA anymore.
So I'm a 1AA guy. Having played at a 1AA school, it will be tougher for me to adjust. But the professionalism of Mr. Charles Neal will rub off on me, and I'm going to get it right one day.
And of course, you've got the bowl subdivision.
Defensive holding against the Pirates.
Some of the notable alumni, of course, Jesse Jackson and his son, Jesse Jackson Jr.
Football players here, too.
Ronald McNair, the astronaut who was a victim of the Challenger disaster. And Al Addles, the vice president of the Golden State Warriors, who took them to an NBA championship game or championship some years back as a coach of the Golden State Warriors. Penalty, and here's some pressure on the backside coming at the quarterback, and Morgan alertly takes it around the side and goes out of bounds in front of the Hampton bench, but not before he picked up some pretty good yards. That personal foul penalty was against Charles Young.
Second down.
You know, we talked about Henty Baird, and you know, that kid, what he's been able to do, number 23 for the Hampton Pirates. They call him a hybrid linebacker, defensive back. I mean, you know, which is he can play any position there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's athletic enough to cover, and he's the best tackler in the secondary, and he likes to hit. So, you know, you call it hybrid, you call it strong safety. I call it just good old-fashioned football play.
Yeah. Under 8 minutes to go. Morgan to pass. Throws. Incomplete. Walls couldn't hold on.
And that's one where, you know, when they play in soft zone and the guy's got his back turned to the defense, you got to have the timing in the passing game to make your reads quicker. And I think that's what they're looking for out of Shelton Morgan. You know, the biggest jump that high school quarterbacks have to play on the college level is the speed and that clock. You know, you can't run away from good defensive football teams. So you have to learn to make yourself comfortable in that pocket and learn how to read your defenses better. And I think one of the things Shelton Morgan is not doing is he's not established that clock of when to get rid of the football on time.
Third down. This one incomplete. A little bit too high for the intended receiver, coming onto the near side for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T, and that was Chaz Dawson, number 3. You talk about Hall of Famers. The Aggies have a Hall of Famer, Nelvin Bethea, played with Houston for many, many years, and he went in, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, you know, that's when we talk about the tradition. I mean, you know, and he's one of those guys responsible for the tradition, you know, and obviously, you know, the coach, and I'm sure one day Coach Bill Hayes will end up in North Carolina Hall of Fame, at least for sure. And, you know, when he was here, he was a legendary coach in the conference.
And once again, there's a problem with special teams for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T. So you're talking about self-destructing. They call another timeout as we look at notable alumni from Hampton University: Booker T. Washington, Angela Burt Murray, Wanda Sykes, Rick Mahorn, Spencer Christian. Spencer Christian, of course, a weatherman.
Rick Mahorn, one of the bad boys.
Yeah, coaching the Detroit Shock.
He should
they're playing. I think they're playing Game 5 of the WNBA championship tomorrow against. They're trying to get another championship. That's what they're trying to do.
Can you imagine if Mahorn would have put the pads on?
No.
I don't say there are many basketball players that can play football.
Would you say that about Barkley?
Oh yeah, Barkley was a tight end all the way. I mean, he was a tight end all the way. Karl Malone,
right.
I mean, was a Pro Bowl tight end.
I mean, Shaq.
Too tall. I don't know. 7 feet.
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about a refrigerator.
Yeah.
He's 2 full freezers.
Yeah. he would be a low, but that's a lot of target to hit.
Yes, it is. It is a 4th down situation for the Aggies. They're going to go for it. 7:47 to go. Morgan stands in there, throws, incomplete.
Good throw. I mean,
incomplete.
That was a great throw.
Just couldn't hold on. And we'll be back here with 7:41 to go. Pirates by a big margin.
Sweet little thing, she's my pride and joy.
Thanks to its styling, technology, and fun-to-drive performance, it's no surprise owners rank the Nissan Altima the most appealing midsize car, according to J.D. Power and Associates.
From their own 33-yard line with the 4th quarter here. 52-14 is the score. Join host Lo Galindo and analyst Mike Godfrey, along with Tom Luganbill, inside the polls, where you get the most in-depth look at the college football polls, plus a weekly Heisman Watch. All that and more on ESPNU Inside the Polls, presented by 76. It comes your way Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and for more information, log on to ESPNU.com. First down and 10 at their own 33-37, make it 38-yard line is where the Pirates have the ball. Look, turning the corner this time is the young man Mathis. Mathis is going to go all the way. 62 yards. Touchdown, Pirates.
If you blink, you missed it. he got there in a hurry, actually. Got there so fast.
There's a flag down. Let's see what the flag is all about. Holding against the Pirates. So that wipes that out.
But you can still keep it on your highlight reel. But it just doesn't count for anything.
Well, as a freshman, knowing Mr. Mathis, he says, they call it back. When I got there.
Holding against the Pirates. And I think Coach Taylor's over there talking to him about that.
You set up that holding call, didn't you?
You need to take a look here at what he's doing. You got the fullback out there leading Peyton. My man Peyton's been hitting all day. And, oh, yeah, they caught him with his hand in the cookie jar. Barely. I don't think it had an impact on the play.
It sure didn't, but the fact of the matter is he did hold.
Herbert Bynes in there, quarterback now for Hampton. That kid we talked about earlier from Florida. Big kid, 6'4", 236-pound freshman.
And again, they go to the same play off that right side with Peyton leading the way. But it's not 6 this time. And there's Herbert. Herbert Bynes. Like you said, he's a tall kid, 6'4", redshirt freshman. This is his first collegiate action.
I mean, this tells you how much bigger college players are. I mean, I remember I was considered a big quarterback when I came out, and I was 6'4", 225. I mean, now you got redshirt freshman coming in 6'4", 236, and he's only going to get bigger.
And hopefully better. This time, they hand off to Jerry Cummings with Robert Russell on the stop defensively. Jerry Cummings, one of those redshirt juniors out of
Number 42, Robert Russell.
From Bradford High School.
Watch Robert Russell shoot the gap. You know, the fullback went in there, Peyton went there to make the hit. He missed, and Russell hit the running back.
And I'm still not that despondent over the defense of the Aggies. I think, you know, they stayed on the field too long. I think the play, and there goes the freshman Mathis again. That was a 3rd down, 4 or 5 situation, and he picks up the first down. Is there flag on the play? Let's see.
No, I see him moving the sticks, so it looks like this one's going to count, but I mean, he gets there in a hurry. I mean, he's got a bright future. He's one of those guys.
No wonder he's wearing 22.
Yeah, you know, they
I bet you Jerome, I bet you Alonzo said, if you give my number to somebody, you better give it to somebody who's going to hold up the tradition.
Hey, I said that same thing once upon a time at Howard. I said, Coach Wilson, if you're going to give away my jersey, give it to somebody good. That person was Ted White. Yeah. He wasn't good. He was great.
A whole lot of new faces into the lineup for the Pirates right now. That's Gerard Griffin running the ball, a freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. A lot of clean white jerseys out there.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, they still got my big fullback out
there.
They're
leading 52-14. I mean, it should have been 59-14.
Still got a chance. I mean, they still have a chance, but at this point, you know, what class by Joe Taylor? I mean, 3rd and 6, and he decided to run the football when, you know, it was an obvious pass situation. So right now, they're just going to rely on the big heavies up front to run their clock out.
And you know what is so interesting when you bring in a guy like Gerard Griffin who just ran the ball? These kids, you know, they practice with the scout team all week long. I mean, the quarterback that's in there now, Bynes, you know, we saw Jerry Cummings come in there. We see Gerard Griffin running the ball. They practice with the scout team. Now they get a chance to see what it's really like to play in a real game against real opponents, you know.
And that's why you got some people.
And they've been playing against the #1 defense all week.
And that's why some teams say, hey, our scout team can beat their first team. Right. Well, this is, you know, proof positive of if that's possible or not.
Well,
Pass is incomplete.
when you're the scout team, you're
Fourth
playing
down.
against your team's #1 defense every day in practice.
And you got plays that are set up to fail.
No question.
It's almost like you're the sparring partner for the boxer, for the champ every week.
4th down.
And I remember, talk about scout team, my days in the NFL. I mean, it was scary playing scout team against John Randall.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. Does this surprise you?
Give them some throws. They want to keep the ball. I think this way, he's going to keep the ball so they can run it out.
And this one's knocked away, and they turn it over on downs. That is the Pirates of Hampton University. They lead it 52-14. 4:32 to go in this one. ESPNU College Football is presented by Citi. Let's get it done. Along with Jay Walker, Charlie Neal here in Greensboro on the campus of North Carolina A&T, a gorgeous campus it is. They have a new president, Dr. Stanley Battle, the 11th president in the history of the school, came on board back in July of this year, formerly at Coppin State, believe it or not.
So he's a basketball guy down here in football country. But it's academic.
It's all academic.
It's all academic. This facility here is nice. I mean, this actually is going to help A&T long term. I mean, don't let the street get you.
This track is great. They had one of the NCAA regionals here a couple of years ago.
Track is nice. Stadium's nice. Scoreboard. The field. I felt like pulling out my pitching wedge. I mean, they really take care of that field. They've got a state-of-the-art drainage system here. Everything about the athletic facilities here at A&T is first class, and very impressive weight room too.
Oh, no question about it. So John Hunt is in there, a freshman out of Raleigh, North Carolina. New quarterback in there, and of course here's where the Aggies get a chance of going ahead to try to break this 19-game losing streak, the longest in the nation.
Where's it going to come, Charlie?
North Carolina Central. Of course, that's next week. It'll probably come against Howard.
Hey.
Your alma mater. That's where it'll happen.
At Howard?
At Howard.
October 20th. Uh-oh, that's Howard homecoming. I don't know about that.
Okay. Well,
the Bison step up.
I may take off just to come watch that game.
If Howard doesn't do anything, they do homecoming. They do homecoming show, but you got to start to wonder, where will the win come? They're taking on North Carolina Central, who many feel could be the best team in black college football.
North Carolina Central. Last year they were the best.
Last year they were the black college national champs.
But they were Division II.
Yep. Well, I mean, they're
moving up.
They're in that transition stage, but the key is they still have Stafford Brown.
And they're changing coaches. They had a change of coaches. Rod Broadway left, went to Grambling, and
Most Rising now the head coach, but I told you the key is they still have Stafford Brown, quarterback, player of the year last year in black college football.
Ball is on the ground, and now the Pirates of Hampton have it, and they are headed for 6 more on the board. Bringing it back for the Pirates is Vaughn Marshall, number 17, and he picked it up and took it in for 6.
And this is why you see coaches that are hesitant to bring in backup quarterbacks. I mean, although it's down, you want to play, and it's just that quarterback center exchange. And let's take a look and see what happens. See, ball never got there. There's no chemistry at all. You don't know if the quarterback pulled out too soon or not, but in that case, it looks as if the ball just never got there.
So they're a point away from some predictions that some people felt would be a 45-point win by the Pirates of Hampton. And it is. The extra point is good, and it's a 59-14 victory. Black national championships since 1999. The Aggies of North Carolina A&T, of course, in 2000, Grambling and Tuskegee shared that honor. Grambling won it, in fact, 3 straight years. Then in Southern University took over in 03. Hampton won it in 2004. It was Grambling and Hampton in 05. And then last year, Hampton and North Carolina Central. Of course, we'll see Grambling next Saturday down in Ruston or Grambling, Louisiana.
I think the surprising thing is during the Bruce Eugene era at Grambling, they only won 2 national championships.
Only 2.
Only 2. I mean, that team was good enough. They were, arguably the best team in black college football. But, all the success that Bruce Eugene had, his record in the Bayou Classic,
Not
2-2.
Not good.
2-2.
As the Aggies take on the Eagles of North Carolina Central University. Game time, 6:30.
Well, when you talk about North Carolina Central moving up from Division II, they're going to join the MEAC, and that's going to be great for North Carolina because for years they had the Aggie Eagle Classic.
Yeah.
And they stopped playing that. Well, now they're going to start playing that again. So there'll be some exciting football played here in the state of North Carolina in the upcoming seasons.
Quentin Cosby needs to learn how to go down. A lot of MEAC players you can watch on Sunday. Of course, Startrick Darby from South Carolina State is with the Rams. Antoine Bethea from Howard. Quinn Gray from Florida A&M. Rasheem Mathis, Bethune-Cookman. Nick Collins, Bethune-Cookman. Tracy Wright from Howard. Ashante Shiako from Morgan State. Ron Bartell, Howard. Marcus Douglas, Howard. Jamal Jackson.
A lot of Howard on there, Charlie, for somebody to play hates on the Bison as much as you do.
Yeah, I do.
4 guys in the league now. They're all defensive players, of course, so we don't have much offense right now.
Jamal Jackson's with Delaware State, yeah.
But
from Delaware State, yeah.
You know, we put folks in the league.
Well, you know, the MEAC, you're talking about Hall of Famers, and we talked about Elvin Bethea as we get a penalty flag going down. There's 10 Hall of Famers out of the MEAC in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Rosie Brown, Lynn Ford, Leroy Kelly, all from, and Willie Lanier from Morgan State. Art Shell from Maryland Eastern Shore. You have Harry Carson and Deacon Jones from South Carolina State, along with Marion Motley. So, you know, the Hall of Famers represent the MEAC very well.
Yeah, and the surprising thing is you don't have anybody from Florida A&M that's made it to the Hall of Fame yet.
On the offense, number 14,
I would have thought, you know, Bullet Bob got close,
yeah,
to getting in there. And that's probably the surprising thing because for years they were the standard which you measured all of black college football.
Florida A&M, no question about it.
Well, I guess FAMU was the MEAC's version of Grambling. You know, Grambling's always been recognized worldwide. And between FAMU and Grambling, those programs are probably the most storied programs in black college football. The fact that Grambling's got so many in the Hall of Fame and Florida A&M still playing catch-up.
So you talked about Bill Hayes being one of the legendary coaches here. In fact, he's the winningest coach in Aggie history with 106 victories. And then there was Bert Piggott from the 50s, 60s era, Hornsby Howell, Mo Forte, George Small. You know, Mo Forte was had an opportunity to be the only coach to take 2 different teams from 2 different conferences to a national championship. As far as conference championships, he did it here at A&T, and he almost did it. He came a game away from doing it in the SWAC last year at Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah, he's got a good run going on out there in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and they're really excited there. And that's a team that, I mean, they're physical. You know, they're physical. And I think what he did was take a MEAC style of play to the SWAC conference. You know, the SWAC is so pass happy. They've been so pass happy. Well, if you don't have a trigger man there and you're still trying to be pass happy, a team that can run the ball effectively will beat you. That's why Alabama A&M won the championship last year, and Alabama and Arkansas Pine Bluff was on the other side, almost won the championship.
This will be the 14th loss for the Aggies against MEAC teams, the 9th at home, 9th straight at home. In fact, they have lost quite a few games here at Aggie Stadium. 5, or they've only won 5 of their last 16 games at home. So things are not going too well for the Aggies right now. What do you think they get from this game?
I think they showed that in stretches they can put together good offensive drives. I mean, they've got an offensive philosophy. If they just get a little better at the execution, they can improve upon the scoring offense. I think defense, they still have questions, and they realize they have to really work harder in special teams. Special teams is all mental. Now they realize they must work hard and pay attention to detail in the special team if they want to compete week in and week out.
Yeah, there's 4 seconds left in this one, and of course things maybe they get a respite next week when they take on North Carolina Central, but then they come back here and play after that a Thursday night game against Norfolk State, who struggled a little bit today against Rutgers, but who doesn't?
Rutgers got Ray Rice. That kid is special. He's probably one of the best running backs, top 2 or 3 running backs in all of college football today.
And that's the end of the ball game.
With our final
59-14. is the score. The final. Your thoughts quickly.
Well, I thought that, Hampton still has questions to be seen. Is this team capable of repeating for a championship? We'll find out when they play some tougher competition. North Carolina A&T, they still got Aggie pride, but they still have plenty of work they have to do.
Tonight, the final score, Hampton wins it 59-14 to go 2-0 for the season. Tune in Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Morgan State takes on the Pirates of Hampton right here on ESPNU from Hampton, Virginia. For more information, log on to your home for the finest in college sports, ESPNU.com. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jay Walker, Charlie Neal saying so long from Greensboro, North Carolina. Again, the final score, Hampton 59, Aggies 14.
This is Sports Center U.
This is the voice of Lowell Galindo.
And I'm your man, Craig Hobart.
You are the man. Louisville, Kentucky. Let's start it off. And we start with the kickoff, third quarter. Louisville down by 5. And it's Trent Guy going the other way. Craig, where have we seen this guy before?
He is a multitasker. He has also taken back a punt this year.
101 yards right there. Louisville up 28-26. Defense, obviously not a word they use too often in the state of Kentucky because there wasn't much in this game. Andre Woodson, that's Jacob Tammy bringing it down. 33-28 Kentucky with the lead later in the fourth. Cardinals on the ground. Anthony Allen, two-point conversion was no good. Louisville up 34-33. 39 seconds left in regulation. Kentucky down by 1. Here's Eric Collins with the call.
Woodson has a man wide open. It's caught. Steve Johnson. Touchdown, Kentucky.
And Kentucky regains the lead on the blown coverage. One last chance for Louisville. Brian Brom chunking it deep. What happens, Craig?
Knock it down. Knock it down. Oh! Oh, so close yet so far.
Douglas brings it down, but Louisville goes down. Kentucky winning 40-34. Arkansas at Alabama. Nick Saban looking for the statement win with the Tide. Right here, it looks good. John Parker Wilson leading DJ Hall. 21-zip Bama. But Craig, how does Arkansas get back in this game?
They've got a secret weapon called Darian McFadden. I don't know if he's a secret anymore, though.
Not a secret when you run like that. Bruising in from 1 yard out. 31-24 Bama. And then McFadden again from the Wildcat formation. We are tied at 31. Arkansas driving again. And we learned that Casey Dick can actually throw the ball. There's Peyton Hillis, 6 yards in Arkansas with the first lead of the game, 38-31. But here's your ball game up top. And Matt Cadell goes up and brings it down. You have to have concentration to make a catch like this. And Cadell shows plenty of it.
Great job going up, making a play, and getting the ball. Outstanding.
And Bama gets the win 41-38. A statement certainly for Nick Saban. Welcome in to the Sports Center U studio. Lowell Galindo here with Craig Hobart. What was more impressive, the performance from Kentucky or the performance from Alabama?
I really liked with Alabama how they jumped out to a big lead, lost it, but fought and still won the game. But for me, my money, it's Kentucky. They have not beaten a top 10 team since 1977. I was a young tyke way back then. It was a big interstate rivalry game, big win for Kentucky.
Also a big game on the high school football level. We had number 1 versus number 2. The top-ranked Miami Northwestern Bulls on the road against number 2, South Lake Carroll. High school football, and we love it here on the U. First quarter, the Dragons loving this. Riley Dodge, the son of Todd Dodge, UNT head coach, and the Dragons take the early 7-0 lead, and the Bulls help the Dragons